We went into a meeting with Silica Mercure.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and how did that go?
Wasn't she delightful?
That is one of the words that one could use to describe her if one was Silica Mercure.
And really showing off her assets.
She was doing that, yes.
Yeah, like her murderous teleporter. That's an asset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she was very sweet and, or at least held the appearance of being very sweet and endeared to her sister for a little while until she wasn't getting what she wanted, and Percy had broadcast up onto one screen the encounter with Trail and kind of made implications of, we know what monsters you make and what monsters you are. And she broadcast on the other wall the murderous teleporter, your words, not mine,
Yeah.
hanging out and taking fun selfies with Delilah down on the snowy Thurid surface.
I will say, I hate it, but that was a remarkably impressive power move. Like, holy shit, I'm in awe.
And she dropped the disguise and basically just looked at and smiled at Das. Looked at Das and smiled at her with a sickening fake sweetness of basically your move, and started clawing back the offer that she had made from the initial claims of, yeah, we'll be full partners, you just have to get up to speed, to, well, you'll be useful, and you'll certainly help improve the world, but we're gonna have some ramp-up period into how much you take as you take a shining, or how much authority you get as you take a shining to the family practice.
We're going to use you as a glorified figurehead, basically.
Potentially, yeah, by the sounds of it.
I don't know about figurehead. I think that's the wrong word there. She's more like trying to use Das's incredible brain, because she knows that they're millennium twins, and you guys have talked Das up a little bit. Just a little bit, but she believes that there is something that Das can contribute to Mercure. She just has to be put on a leash. Does that kind of encapsulate what you took from that, Ginja?
Yeah.
Metaphorically, right?
And it seems to me like essentially she's claiming she created Das, and it sounds like as a multi-threaded processor, if you will, for herself.
But not entirely far off. You did learn that the meeting with Selka was not actually with Selka. She was a hologram in the meeting. Not entirely unlike Das, showing up by Data Slab.
Yep.
And we did more during the session. I'm sure we did more during the session. What else did you guys do?
Percy got very, very drunk afterwards.
Yes. Percy got very drunk.
Like cataclysmically drunk.
Yes.
Koana is moving out of her edgy era.
Koana is what?
Moving out of her edgy era.
I'm not catching that last word there.
Era. Period. Phase.
Okay, then I'm not catching the second last word there.
Edgy.
Edgy.
Go,
Okay.
emo, whatever.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Pearl.
E for Echo. E for Delta.
Got it. Edgy era.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's shown herself to be standing up over the last couple weeks since you revealed to her that the universe is ending, and she is full gung ho on the Raza is the solution. She wants to be part of that. She also wants the Raza and Percy and everyone involved doing good. And if there's, she made an impassioned appeal to Percy that what point is there if we give up on and leave to harm the people beside us and the people that we care for as we try to save the universe? Alright, let's bring us to the frame here. Got you on the loading page. Have you updated the loading page?
Yes.
Alright.
I've added something to it.
Yeah. 2 to the 6 to the 6 to the 7 to the 8 to the 7 to the question mark.
I don't think I will ever understand what you take from this.
I don't think we take anything from it.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I think me and Ginger
we
take
don't-
something from it.
We don't take anything from it. We add to it. That's how this works.
Alright, rephrase. I don't think I'll ever understand what you're getting from doing this.
Entertainment.
Yes.
Well, at this point, it's just a matter of tradition.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
too.
alright, I'll take that.
This is how those weird ceremonies start.
Yeah.
You know, you ever
I mean,
look at
this-
like the weird ceremonies that like really old. I mean, look at British government. There's a bunch of ceremonies. There's a bunch of ceremonies that don't make
Yep.
any sense anymore, but we still do them because it's tradition. This is heading that way. It's starting to stop making sense, but we're still doing it.
This is the way it's always been done.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, in the House of Parliament, every instance of the words "the Right Honourable Lord" could be replaced with "Mister."
Yes.
And in
Every
some,
single one, it would change nothing.
with some of those rituals, it was almost certainly something someone did on a whim. Somebody else made fun of them, and the person that did it said, "Well, no, I've always done it like this."
Yeah, just
Oh, yeah.
double down.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to move you over to the player journal, just for some catch up on what you put there. Over the oh wow, right, I did add a second page for you. I was like, why is there a double-clicked line down there?
Mm.
Over
we
the
ran
2
out of
weeks,
space.
I was asked for and provided a list of your ongoing quests, the things that are outstanding. It is pinned in planning for you to access easily. And I think I put this in here. Yeah, I estimate about 5 to 15 sessions remaining, depending on what you guys do. And also depending on what your characters, like how they handle things.
Central Crisis.
How they handle knowledge, learning
Oh.
things. You know, you could find out tomorrow that there's somewhere to set up, or not tomorrow, next session, that there's somewhere that's words are not coming to me very well today. Somewhere that's sympathetic to your cause and would let you set up, and you could decide next session that okay, this cycle, this season, this campaign ends, and we move on to the next phase of it. I think that's unlikely, but just saying, it still depends a lot on you folks. And that list there is a kind of a checklist for you to think about what you want to try and make sure that you get to take care of this time before the end of this campaign, and what you think will be interesting enough to put off until the next campaign, where you'd be tackling it with different characters. Also, I did not actually put on the return to... Oh, I did put on return to Onlau. Yeah, that's right. It's the very first thing. Well, not return to, but go to unallow. Yeah. All right, I have done enough talking and sputtering around. What are you guys doing?
Listening.
I was thinking, yeah, maybe listening to Dex. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But what are our characters doing?
Hangover. What are you doing?
I mean, we did order the hangover cure ahead of time if Riley delivers.
You did, yeah. Do
They
you
got those
want
in the future,
us?
right?
Hmm?
So they got those in the future, right? Hangover cures.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Siri is standing by and ready to administer it. Just gotta give her a call and she'll fly right over.
Okay. Feed these cats so they stop bothering.
I did see some conversation over the week about possibly heading back over to Mona before going down to Thurid and the merits of.
Yeah, I don't think I was a consensus, but
Yeah,
that's
I don't think we
my
landed on a
thought. But
definite.
I guess Kawana's awfully optimistic. I don't know if I trust her estimation of our odds of getting help dealing with that situation. But yeah, I don't really know how likely it is for Mona to offer help on that in regards to that. So it would be interesting to find out what help they might be willing to in the whole end of the universe thing.
That's okay. We have a number of services that we can offer. We have a number of services we can offer. Universe is kind of ending, and Rajon seems to like us more than average. Failing that, he probably doesn't want to disappoint his granddaughter, who will think this is an excellent idea. Failing that, we can fucking bargain him into it. It's not like we don't have information to sell. Failing that, we'll figure it out when we get there.
A thought strikes me. Given we know the universe is about to end, would now be a great time to take out like a ton of long duration loans?
It's all fun and game. Hold on. That's all fun and games until you save the universe.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But here's the advantage there. If the universe is saved, that's still and being horribly in debt is still an improvement over the universe dying. I'm just saying that if we do take out a bunch of loans, we could really live it up right now while we still expect the universe to die.
See, that's the thing. I think Virgilia is the only one who actively expects the universe to die.
That's fair.
Yes.
I'll also point out that you currently have enough to live it up.
Yeah, we do.
Unless your idea of living it up is buying a capital ship for no reason, you could easily retire on what you have and party for the rest of your lives. Probably short lives, but
I was going to say, if we party for the rest of our lives, it's not going to be very long.
Price check on converting the Rosin into a capital ship?
Probably unfeasible.
Yeah, ships can't change class. They're not allowed to change class.
Price check on attaching the Vazar to a capital ship.
I mean, they've got
Just the one turret.
They've got the docking thing for.
There
I can't remember if it's one or two classes smaller. I think it's one.
Two. It's two.
I thought that was just for the docking bay, not for the exterior clamps that let you jump with it.
Oh, you're talking the ship tender mount?
Yeah.
That's just for spike drills.
It still lets you stick to it.
Yeah, it does.
So what you're saying is that we use the Vaza as the ship, and apart from the engine room and the cockpit of the capital ship. The rest of the capital ship is just party zone. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
I feel like Dex will probably allow this and then take us back to the start of Cycle 1. Like, okay, so they spent 5 years getting pissed. Universe got ended. New start.
Yeah, full disclosure, pretty much anything you do that isn't going forward towards the next campaign at this point is just going to play out the rest of the time in a sandbox and then start over.
Yeah.
We will immediately enter a montage.
Oh dear. But yeah, so obviously, first step is saving Delilah and Lohan. Second step, I think, is go to Mona and by hook or by crook convince Rajon to shelter them for a while.
What was in Mona again?
Oh, fucking... What's the word?
You know,
Commune?
the
Commune's the wrong word, but...
Rajuanan, yeah, the TL5 people.
Yeah, small...
We didn't...
Small
Has Virgilia been there?
No, I don't think so. Small isolationist TL5 colony that doesn't really want a bunch of outsiders. Koana is from there. Koana's grandpa is in charge there.
Yeah, Koana's on the Rumspringa.
Yeah, basically.
Rumspringa on the Raza.
Rajon is an info broker and has also offered equal parts grandfatherly and like sharp businessmanly advice on different occasions, mostly to Elise, who is not here currently, but still on the ship.
I'm pretty sure he's friends with Cassian too. Or at least he does. I guess he does business with Cassian a lot.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
Okay, so the goals right now are to save a couple people, then go over to Mona to try to convince them to help, and then then would it be to go to Onalau or what?
I think Onalau would be after we sort these immediate problems.
Yeah, I think
this immediate problem.
My thoughts on the step are we have this immediate problem. I think that we should still do the big info broadcast thing with the entities that we were talking about before. That should be like basically the last thing. Possibly. Well, do we still think talking to Union and giving them the zombies back is a thing that we want to do?
I don't have any strong feelings about that. I could honestly, I don't really care if we do anything with the zombies with Union.
I think it'd be nice to. It'd be a nice peace offering to get them to the negotiating table, and it'd be nice to work out a truce with them so we don't need to worry about them jumping us.
Yeah, but then are we going to do the Tiamat 77 thing?
They don't need to know that was us.
They'll probably have a good idea. Well,
jokes aside, either that or we spin it as, look, there is no time for war right now. We have convinced Shinobu to stand down on the condition that we stop you from taking advantage of them standing down. We just want everyone to focus on the problem, which is not a thing dealt with cap ships.
Yeah, I guess the question is, do we negotiate with them before we trigger that? Anyways, we can do that. That's later. That's later, anyways.
Regardless, is that negotiation a thing we want to do?
I could see it. I still don't really feel too strongly about it, but I think we can. Okay. I guess I don't know. My concern, if we were going to negotiate with them, before we pull the trigger on the wiping out the rudders, essentially, is that gives them time to get a message out. Out of the system, maybe. But anyways, I think the more immediate question though is: are we going to do Mona first, or are we going to try to rescue Delilah and Lohan first?
We're going to try and rescue Delilah and Lohan first.
I had another question. Who?
Go on.
Delilah and Lohan?
Who the fuck are Delilah and Lona?
Percy's ex-girlfriend and son. From before he joined the Vasa.
Which to be clear, was also a bit of a bomb for Doug last session too. So
yeah.
Yeah. We tried to play it off like none of us knew it, but then Das was visible.
Yeah, but Doug didn't know it.
That kind of worked out about how you'd expect.
Doug really sold it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the topic came up somewhere in text roleplay before. I'm pretty sure Doug was in on that. Maybe if you've forgotten, that's fine.
Maybe.
But yeah,
I think Yeah.
One second.
I was gonna say the question being hold on. And the reason we were talking about going to Mona first is they're being held hostage by a teleporter essentially. So the concern is how do we get them away from the teleporter? How do we deal with the teleporter without them just blinking away?
Sniper rifle. Next question.
Hey, can't you just teleport in, teleport out, get it?
There we go.
get it
Backup
back?
plan.
Maybe.
There we go. Backup plan. Next question.
Wait, hold on. Aren't you
Okay.
a meta psionic? Can't you like anti-teleport their teleportation?
Can kind of do that.
I don't know.
I don't know. Nux.
I don't fully understand what Kana can do.
Yeah.
Nox may be unable to answer right now,
Okay.
or they're muted and don't know it. But yeah, I believe that Kana does have the psychic static and has, I believe, noped something. No, Kana definitely. I don't think she's noped anything, but I know that she has somebody's tried to do metapsionic stuff to her, and it slid right off because she's immune to metapsionics.
Mm. Yeah, they tried to I think someone actually tried to use the static or something on Kana, right? When she was when she was rescuing Das.
Sort of. They're
Yeah.
trying
Tried
to
to-
use a technique from the psychic assassin sub-discipline, which is a discipline
Right.
of, or a sub-discipline of metapsionics, and so still counts as metapsionics.
Yeah.
It was they were
Yeah.
attempting to divert her teleport to somewhere else.
Right, that's what they were doing. Yeah.
And
And-
for
Yeah,
relatively
but they
obvious
tried
reasons,
a
it didn't
thing,
work.
and it just sort of didn't happen at all.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Wait. I suppose if we're confident enough in our abilities there, then I guess we can go ahead and do that first. Because I don't have a high degree of confidence that Mona will offer the tools that we would need.
I don't think that. I don't think they're going to offer anything that, like I say, long distance snipe is an option. Psychic static to prevent teleporting out is an option. I don't think Mona would offer anything that will increase the odds of success significantly over that. You know.
In regards
what
to
if-
this, in regards to the sniping thing, are we allowed to have Elise do that with the fancy sniper rifle that I made? Elise?
Yeah.
At least essentially make the check.
Because she had the feats for it, doesn't she?
She does.
Right. She has a feat for it.
She does. She's got the, I believe, sniper and also a very special sniper rifle. Yes, I will allow you to utilize Elise for sniping, but you still got to do the groundwork of her finding a place to snipe from.
Right.
That's fine.
You'll have to case the joint, so to speak.
Yeah. We just need Elise to be able to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
I do have another suggestion. It might be a little extreme, but what if we go and talk to the kidnapper and negotiate a release?
Elaborate.
You talk about the individual at work. I don't know. We don't know how strong loyalty is. So this is a person working for Celica.
Okay.
Yeah. Directly for
I guess we don't necessarily know how strong the loyalty is there.
I see.
And for all we know, it could be chemically altered loyalty.
Yeah.
I don't trust anything Mercury Core.
Yeah, that's a thing as well, isn't it?
I mean, if we get close enough, I could always possess her.
That
tool I'm familiar with, so
that is an interesting thought. Actually, what can you do with the possession?
Anything.
Wow.
I possess them.
Okay.
But how? I guess how
become-
likely are you to succeed at possessing them?
It really depends on their mental save.
Okay, it's a teleporter, so probably pretty good.
Yeah, maybe.
It depends on how high a level they are, really.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably pretty high level.
Yeah. So I'd say they do get a -5 to the check with Dark Possession, but
That's good.
I'd say like a 60% chance I succeed, even if they've got maxed out saves.
And
Okay.
maybe with Kana's tools, with Kana's kit, maybe that'll help offset that.
Or just stop us from running away.
Yeah.
That's an option as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, anytime there's a hostage situation, you know, it's you really want a really high degree of estimated success before you pull off an operation like that.
Yeah.
For some reason. But that's still, you know, we got we got a bit going on.
Mm.
Just all three at once. Sniper rifle in position. There's the moment I guess it's probably too big of a gap between the sniper rifle and the possession if failing to lock things down.
What do you mean?
The like if we try to teleport in on top of them, and then have Regelia tries the whole possession thing, and then if that fails, having the sniper as a backup.
Gotcha.
Saying that it's unlikely that you'd be able to coordinate the timing on this thing so perfectly that there's no opportunity between them for the teleporter to get away or cause trouble in some way.
The difficulty there is how quick teleports occur. So yeah. Well, do you want to how do you want to proceed? Do you want to just like drop the Raza on top of wait, hang on. Do I remember right? You've got a visual on the location from the pictures.
All right, were you able to geoguess it?
Right, you have to do some geoguessing. No, nobody here is from Thurid, so no, you can't just geoguess it off the top of your heads.
Unfortunate.
Dang.
So yeah, you do still have some groundwork or some investigation to do. If you want to take the Raza over to Thurid orbit, you could possibly use. Let's see, you've got an advanced the survey scanner, right? Not survey scanner. Survey sensor array. Did you get that on this Raza?
No, sure.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Hold on, I walked away again.
Oh, I'm looking right now. Nope, no survey sensor array. What about on? Oh shoot! Did I ever make a character for the small ship, Dark Horizon?
No.
Of course I didn't. Why would I?
I meant to bring it up a couple times. It wasn't the right time.
Oh, yeah.
Do your best.
All right. Well, we still have that in discussion. I think somewhere in there, just in the discussion. Sorry.
Okay, well.
Yeah, under Rajuan Shadow Broker thread, or you can just type Dark Horizon in the search box, and it's a couple posts down. The stealth bomber.
Yeah, I guess. Do we do our best to essentially just blitz this? Because I do really like the theory that Celica misjudged Percy's reaction and the Raza as a whole's reaction because of the whole missing memories thing. So I don't know. Maybe a move fast strike card will catch her off guard, or her plans off guard. I don't know.
Yeah. We do still need to spend some time finding the thing to accept.
Right. But my thinking is that it's going to be hard for it. We're not in third already, are we?
No, you're still basically attached to the Nox. You can leave at any point. Your ship is done, but you're still attached to the Nox.
Okay. Yeah. So my thinking is it's unless we do a circuitous route, if we head here straight to third, that's going to tip off Celica. That probably what we're doing.
Have you been to third before?
I think we stopped by there once.
So would the infodrive work for it?
I think
No, I haven't been there since it got fixed.
No, I think you have to be there after it's operational again.
Correct.
Okay.
Is that correct, Dex? Okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, your sim chip has been wiped. You gotta start all over.
Okay. Yeah, if you're suggesting that we don't go straight there and play our hand, then what are you suggesting we do?
Well, I don't know. What's reaction did? I guess Celica knows that the hostage was effective in some degree at least, right?
Yeah, because we made.
So I don't think we can just fly off and act like we don't care.
Yeah, because Percy did make threats to what's his name, Remy, to pass on.
Yeah.
Remy. I barely know you, but I feel like I know you.
He's so disingenuous and slimy. It's great.
So that's where you're at. Is you're pretty sure Celica knows some amount of your frame of mind. Pretty sure that she has an idea that her pitch was successful in at least rattling you and putting Das into a difficult decision position, as far as she's concerned.
Difficult decision.
Yeah, well, the implications of her looking at Das as Percy was trying to play it off, being that she could see through any or at least she believed she was seeing through any anything brushing that off, and looking at Das as like Das knows that innocent mother and child are in danger.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And if she thinks Das is gonna come and basically, I mean, we don't know exactly what Celica would do if Das just came along, but it feels like not great idea.
Giving her what she wants seems like a bad idea.
Yeah. Like Das is definitely not in the mindset of let's just leave Thingy and the two of them to whatever happens. Like that's not happening either. But Das is not going with Celica. Like that maybe was going to happen if Celica had left it where it was. Threatening people we care about? No, not flying.
We're all good now. Dang it.
If anything,
yeah.
If anything, I feel like going there and sorting it out now, it's sort of putting actions behind your words of "I want to be on the side with morals."
Yes.
Don't sully our fresh start that you don't know anything about.
That I want to be; it's that I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I should make a note for next cycle. Immediately go to the one planet that does cloning things. Get a bunch of clones of everyone so we can trade them off as needed.
Oh dear. Is that an option? Can we just give her a clone of Das and go, here, you wanted me? Here you go.
I mean, how's she going to tell the difference? Neither of them has their memories.
Yeah, wait a second. But didn't...
Okay, that's really funny, actually. Hang on.
That's also exactly what she wants, is a clone of herself.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's
just
literally just
saying.
giving her what she wants. It's just this one we don't care about.
Maybe some of you
This
don't care about.
just raises too many ethical questions.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wait. I'm sorry. When did we start shying away from awkward ethical questions?
We didn't. We just have different answers to Mercure. And Mercure tends to not like it when people have different answers to them.
Yes, this is true. Why did that do that? Neat. Okay, that's why that did that. Alright, do we need a distraction while you continue to consider your direction, or do you need some prompts, some kind of run-of-the-mill options?
Look, I don't think she's going to expect us to go right there. That's where Doug's at now.
Okay, so she's not expecting us to go right there, then let's go right there. Right?
Yeah, I'm probably not wrong, right?
I mean, you might be wrong, and she might expect you to go right there. In which case, it wouldn't be right.
But without evidence, we cannot say whether she thinks one way or the Do you have evidence that she's expecting us to do exactly that?
I wasn't here last session, so I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to out mind game someone that probably plays mind games for fun.
Yeah,
That's all.
also professionally.
And probably professionally, yeah.
Well, given that it's Percy's backstory characters,
yeah, I think you do have a stronger say than anyone else in this.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm tempted to say gung ho. Let's go for it.
Okay, so you're.
They probably don't have any way of detecting immediately that we've arrived in third, right?
If you come down in the Raza, yes.
They do know the Raza now, yes.
Yeah, we've got drive 6 now. They know who we are.
Also, you assume that there are. Well, you don't have to assume. You know that there are Mercure ships at the station, so they've already got a detection lock on you. And
third is their essentially where they're based out of, so they almost certainly have ships there too.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have the resource to detect the Raza entering the system.
Well, they'll also
we can be in and out before they have an effective turn.
What's that, Knox?
We can be in and out before they have an effective turn.
Entirely possible. But before you get to that point, keep in mind that any detection lock that ships here have will be transmitted across to any allied ships, and it is something you have to do. You have to specifically try to shake detection locks by taking some specific maneuvers, trying to hide behind a gas giant and losing those locks long enough that they don't immediately keep them.
Now, I have another question though. Wasn't the fighter we got upgrade, or didn't we upgrade that with a proper drive?
I don't recall you upgrading it with a proper drive. However,
maybe not then.
It does have a system drive, and is specifically a dedicated stealth vehicle. So if you're not taking the Raws over there, that is another option for you, is to cram a few people into the Dark Horizon and land a small party.
Yeah.
That's okay. We probably aren't leading a large party anyway, right? Like, the main, So what I'm thinking is, it would take the Dark Horizon a good deal of time to jump there, probably. I don't know how fast Milton can fly it. Hmm. So what I'm wondering is, do we fly the Raza 2-3, drop off the Dark Horizon, and immediately leave? They probably notice the Dark Horizon coming in, right?
It'd be the same as flying the Raza there. We're in the same system. We don't have to jump.
Yes. Correct.
Okay. Okay, I didn't realize that we were, in.
Yeah.
Wait, no, what? Wait, what?
No, we're not in Thurid currently, are we?
No, we're not.
Thurid is a planet. We're not at Thurid. We're in Kuti Tahirti, the system that Thurid is in, which the Nox is also in.
Didn't, yeah, okay, right, okay.
That does change things. Okay.
I
Yeah,
apologize.
I'd forgotten that too.
I thought that was clear.
Yeah.
Yes, you're in the Kuti
Yeah, well,
Tahirti.
I think I asked if we were in Thurid because in my head I was thinking Thurid was the system.
Yeah, because
I should know better.
Supposed to be standard that each system only has one location, but I kind of flubbed that.
Nah, it's more interesting if they've got a few.
I do agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it means
but it does lead to some confusion sometimes.
It does.
But it means that Genja gets to know the spatial geographical knowledge over us, so it's fine. But
no,
yeah,
I've just got the sector map up. It's not that I know this. I was like, hang on a second, aren't these maybe the same system? And then I pulled up the sector map, and it's like, yeah, they are.
how do you have the sector map up?
I just bookmarked it like ages ago. It's in the README.
There's a separate non-roll 20 sector map that you could access.
Yeah,
right.
This website.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I have that up.
Okay. Okay. So. Practically speaking, how hard is it to shake a lock?
Let's see. If you're talking for the Raza, let me go to those pages.
Although I
suspect we're going to find that the answer is how good is your comms officer? And yeah, I think we know the answer to that one.
It is going to rely very heavily on the comms officer, yes.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking about it though. If we try and shake the detection lock on the Raza, then that very clearly signals to them that we're trying to do something that we don't want them seeing, which they're immediately going to assume that we're going to do. So
it's true.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I suspect we could break the lock. I'm looking at the Raza sheet. We have emission dampers, which means we get a +2 to skill checks to avoid detection, which sounds plausibly like breaking a detection lock as well.
Mm-hmm.
At which point, if it's anything even remotely resembling an int program, which I suspect it does end up being, yeah. 3 dice, keep the highest, and then add 8.
So I'm going to direct your attention, Ginja, to page 112 and the very confusing chart there. But basically, your +2 from the emissions damper will add to the +1 from being a cruiser. And so you'll end up having a +3 on your roll to hide. Any observer is going to depend on the ship size that they are, and Mercure doesn't have any cruisers, but they do have a major station and a planet. Those don't stack, I'll only get the best. They are using passive sensors, so that is a disadvantage on them. At least unless you do anything over with the Raza that causes them to use active sensors. So that is something they can switch. But they'll be rolling with a +5 for the planetary sensors, plus whatever the skill of that operator is, and the -2 for the passive sensors. So assume a +1 or +2 skill.
Yeah.
Probably +1.
Mm-hmm. See, where my head's
so
at,
net +3, probably effective 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be at net +1, maybe 3 if we hit the avoiding planetary population centers thing. I don't know if we'd manage to do that. But even a net +1 would then, it is in program, so that's a +7 effective.
I'm not going to give you the avoiding planetary population centers bonus just because you're trying to break the lock of ships in space. If you're trying to get down onto the planet undetected, then absolutely yes, you get that. And sorry, Viral, what were you going to add in there?
What I was going to add is that I feel like if we try and break the detection lock on the Vaza, that immediately telegraphs to them that we are doing something that we don't want them to see. So they're immediately going to assume that we're, heading for Thurid. It would be
I
better.
actually have, I have
possibly-
another question, actually, because I'm kind of curious how this works.
Can I finish that?
Hold on
sorry,
for a second, Lulu.
Yeah. So what I'm wondering is because Thurid is in system, it's a lot more feasible for the Dark Horizon to get there, especially if we have Myokin piloting it with Beth. And what I am wondering is how long would it take the Dark Horizon to get there? And like Myokin said, will they automatically have a lock on the Dark Horizon?
Okay, so Dark Horizon. Does somebody have that up? I can't remember if I gave it a drive 1 or drive 2, and I'm currently on. Oh, actually, you know what? That's a different tab entirely. I can look it up. I've got it up here. Dark Horizon is
System Drive 2.
System Drive 2. Okay, so from any region of this system that isn't directly in orbit over Thurid, it will take 24 hours. And I can't remember off the top of my head if Kana adds. Kana doesn't add to in space travel, real space travel.
Does she not? Huh.
I will look that up real quick. That seems relevant.
Definitely relevant, yeah. And
All right.
if she doesn't add to system travel, the Wonder of Shadow is the player. First of all, yeah.
She doesn't. Starfarer does not add to in-system travel. It's drills only. However, she can still trim the course for an effective +1 on the spike drive, making it a 16-hour journey from anywhere else in space except orbiting. And if you undocked the Dark Horizon right here, yes, everybody's gonna have a detection lock on you again. If you go somewhere into a region of space where they are not currently, then they will not get the detection lock immediately. And when you enter a region of space where they could detect you, it will be an opposed roll.
Okay, so does that
So
mean
it might
that
be a case of we depart in the Raza in a direction other than towards Thurid, and then once we're out of this region, they'll still have a lock on the Raza, but we can then undock the Dark Horizon, and they won't have that.
Correct.
Okay, that seems like probably the best way, and then we send the Vaza off, not necessarily out of Kuti Tahiti, but somewhere that is not Thurid, so that they assume we're not going straight to Thurid.
Yeah, so I think we're disengaging to think.
All right.
Yeah, or just doing something else.
Let's put a pause in this real quick because I don't want Lulu to lose his thought. Lulu.
Yeah.
So the thing I was curious about, since we've been talking about going to other regions for this, if you jump into metaspace, can you turn around?
You cannot.
Okay. Never mind then.
It's a good thought, but metaspace travel is I guess we could say it's more like dropping the ship into the next system.
Okay.
You know what? I said no too quickly. Here's one option you could have for that. If you deliberately botched the drill, you could get shot out to a random system within 1d6 hexes, and it's entirely possible that you go back to the system you started from.
Yeah. I feel like we don't want to attempt that
Great
role.
plan.
Yeah. Like that's the GM saying, if you do it this way, there's a very slim chance you get what you want. And just failing to mention the rather large chance that we don't.
What I'm hearing is that there's a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying not to say no so quickly.
Yeah, it's possible. It just you just have to risk blowing the whole ship up. It's fine.
Incredibly dangerous and unreliable, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So we leave the Nox shipyard. We troll around Kutiti for a bit. We deploy the Dark Horizon. Raza continues going round in circles, basically. Not literally going round in circles, you know what I mean? While the rescue team does rescue team things.
Okay.
Is that a plan? Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds reasonable to me.
Sounds like a
Okay.
plan.
Okay.
Who's on the Dark Horizon?
Percy, Kana, Elise. Dex, question, or two questions actually. How many people can comfortably fit on the Dark Horizon? And would, well, no, if we're breaking the text from beforehand, would Shadow be have a noticeable edge over Myokin and piloting since we're trying to stay undetected?
I did make Shadow's character sheet, so take a look at that. She does have a benefit for being present. She doesn't necessarily have to be the one at the controls.
Okay, well that works.
But here I'll just put it in. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, while she is piloting, so Shadow does
Okay,
actually
yeah.
have to be piloting.
Yeah.
But
And that's what I'm wondering.
she gives
Oh, but other skill checks are
significant
your ones.
advantage to anyone that's trying to hide the ship, even if it's only her doing it.
Yeah. Okay. So, I guess the question then is, how much? Actually, Nox, are you there?
I think Nox may be indisposed for a moment.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, Dex, you're up.
Okay.
How much faster would it be to have Myokin pilot than Shadow, or how much slower would it be to have Shadow pilot than Myokin, taking into consideration stuff like trimming the course that Myokin can consistently do that Shadow cannot consistently do?
Shadow is fairly consistent about it. The difficulty is 9, and she's got a +5.
+5, yeah.
So
Okay.
she can fail it, unlike Kana, but
Yeah. Okay.
it's unlikely. If she does fail it, then it will actually double the time. It will take you 48 hours instead of 16 hours.
Yikes. It's unlikely she rolls a 2 and a 1.
It is unlikely.
Unlikely, not impossible.
Well, Myokin will best be able to do a help action when they're there.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'm happy with that then. Yeah, in that case, Shadow, yes to pilot. How many people can comfortably fit on the Dark Horizon?
So the Dark Horizon can comfortably fit 2. Do you want to reframe your question as to how many people can uncomfortably fit?
That was relevant information, but yes.
Oh, well, I'm going to leave out the subjective analysis of comfort and say that at most you can cram 5 people in.
Okay.
Into a ship designed for 2, it is a fighter class hull and does not have a lot of room for anything else. It doesn't even have cargo space.
The life support will probably only hold out for so long.
The life support will be struggling.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess that's what you. Well, the vac suits are in this just an hour at a time, aren't they?
No, they're 24 hours. Oh, shoot, I'm thinking
24
vac skins. Vac suits are 6 hours.
6 hours? I guess it's not too bad. That would buy some time for the.
That definitely would take strain off the life support at extra encumbrance cost for you if you wanted to bring additional oxygen tanks. Oxygen tanks, if I recall, are 1 encumbrance each.
How far can Myokin teleport? I'm looking at the character sheet to try and find it, but I can't find the specifics for how far she can go.
She is teleport 4, I believe, and
Teleport 4 is anywhere on the planet's surface or near orbit.
Yep. So if you want to put a distance to that, you're looking at 20,000 to 100,000 kilometers, depending on the
Okay.
orbit.
Okay. In that case, we can circumvent the how many people can we fit in thing on the way back, at least, by having Myokin teleport back to the Raza after the extraction mission. On planetary scale, how far is 100,000 kilometers? Like, is it half the sector? Is it in orbit? Is it? You get the idea.
It's basically orbit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not really feasible then.
Yeah, you
Okay,
would have to bring the Raza into Steward's orbit for kind of to be able to teleport from the surface to the Raza.
Okay, but at that point we don't much mind if they know where we are because we've already gotten the drop on the teleporter.
Yeah. And I'm not going to make a fuss over low orbit or high orbit. Just orbit's fine.
Low for reference, low Earth orbit on Earth is 2,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
So
okay. Yeah. So within okay.
Very high Earth orbit is greater than 35,000. Okay.
Yeah.
And the moon is like 300 and something, nearly 400,000. So
okay,
even 400,000 is probably still considered Earth orbit.
Okay, so definitely within orbit then, right?
I will say that the moon you wouldn't be able to teleport from the moon to the planet.
No, indeed, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not near orbit, definitely. But still orbit, just not near orbit.
Okay, Raza stays not too far from, like, Wait, Raza heads on a course that takes it tangentially closer to Thurid. Let them expect that we might be about to fucking hard swerve in. And then when we do the hard swerve, they call ahead and they realise, oh shit, they sent a fighter up ahead. The teleport is dead. They've already completed the extraction.
Yeah.
Is roughly what I'm thinking right now. And we just shave off a bit of time at the end by, well, not just shave off a bit of time, we shave off a bit of time by having Nox bring, or by having Myokin bring a couple of people back, and we also make it so that they can comfortably fit everyone left into the Dark Horizon, which then flies up to the Vaza.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Only concern that I can think of is if Mercury ships on the planet like come to meet us.
Okay. Do you want to? Do you have a contingency for that, or is that just a concern?
I'm thinking out loud. I'm not sure if I have a contingency yet. Seeing if anyone else has thoughts.
Who needs contingency? I thought we were rushing it, right?
See, it'd be, yeah, but that's no reason to be stupid about it. See,
It isn't. It usually works for me.
The problem is that I kind of want Myokin to be in two places at once. Two places that are too far apart to teleport between. Myokin, just to check, cannot teleport to her spatial synchronicity at Mandala if she's out of range, right? Yeah, no, she can't.
She cannot, correct.
Okay, guess fine. Right, so Raza heads a sort of tangential path. Dark Horizon goes ahead. Do we think they're likely to be actively searching for the... After we deploy the Dark Horizon, we'll be able to get to a point where they're like... Will we be able to rattle the lock enough that we can deploy the Dark Horizon without them realising we've deployed a ship? Within like a reasonable time frame?
Yes. If you move to a region of
Okay.
space where there are no other detectors of any sort, whether it's planetary detector or other ship detector, then you are deploying the Dark Horizon with no detection locks at all. Nobody can detect a ship that's in another region unless they have already got a detection lock on it. They'll have a detection lock on the Raza still, but won't have a detection lock on the Dark Horizon.
Fantastic. In that case, I think we leave Shadow to pilot the Raza because that may be getting into trouble. Like if Mercury sees that we're heading towards food and sends ships up to meet us, which I think is unlikely over one person, but you never know. So I think leave Shadow on the Raza to help deal with that.
You want me to move you over to the ship screen
yes,
so that you can start moving boxes around?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna put Raza and ground team.
Okay.
Well, Dark Horizon.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's not Shadow. Oh, okay, that's Shadow.
That would trick you? Meta.
Perseus upside down.
Okay, no, he started sobering up.
Okay. Is that what happens?
Yeah, that was what happened. Yeah, like
Yeah, he was.
about this much. Yeah. Yeah, a sniper, a mostly sober general all-purpose range combatant, and a teleporter / psychic statica. I think that should be enough. I think that should be enough. And it's not stretching the Dark Horizon too much, and Beth can hopefully help. No, Beth can help with the piloting as well if need be. Unless anybody has thoughts of if I say anything that you're like, wait, no, actually, please say something.
I am thinking, how are you doing stealth on the Dark Horizon? Can Beth do that?
Hopefully we're not needing. Beth can do that. Also, hopefully we're not needing to because they.
Yeah, they don't already have, but if they try and get one, that would then probably be an in-program opposed, at which point you'd want someone that can roll reasonably.
Yes, that is.
But what?
Let me jump in here with the quick rules. Going into a region of space where ships can detect you, they will automatically get a detection lock unless you're trying to hide, in which case it is an opposed roll.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What kind of modifier would Beth have for that? Is that reasonable?
Beth?
Well, I think Beth's probably the most likely of the people who we know are on the Dark Horizon at this point to be able to do that reasonably.
Right, I don't see Death on there.
Yeah.
I'll give Beth a +3 on that.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I may have missed a detail. We're leaving the room for Delilah and Lohan on the Dark Horizon, or.
Well, the aspect I was thinking.
The plan is the Raza basically dives in.
Rendezvous,
shortly after to pick people up.
Yeah,
also kind of teleport once the Raza is in orbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Hell, even once the Dark Horizon is in orbit, we could just teleport down to the surface. We don't need to land necessarily, you know. Although, that means we'd be leaving it unattended but waiting for the Raza to arrive. So probably not that. Probably not that.
All right, so let me make sure I'm going to reiterate the plan as I've understood it so far. I'm going to undock from the Nox and take the Raza in a direction that looks like it's just going somewhere that's not Thurid. You'll enter. Do you have a specific direction you want it to look like?
Say like
Black casual.
diagonally, diagonally adjacent to it. Like, if the say the Vaza box down here is where the Vaza is, and the galley is where Thurid is, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I want to be heading roughly the direction of the UIS refugee nuke, so that we can rapidly change direction.
Okay. All right.
And then sort of on the way there, we deploy the Dark Horizon directly in the direction of Thurid.
Okay. So visually, to an observer, it looks like you're going to a non-destination, or do you want it to look like you're going to a non-Thurid destination? Like, do you want it to look like you're flying just kind of basically toward the edge of the system, or
like towards the horizon, or is there's not?
Yeah.
It's pretty much Thurid, Nox, and nothing else.
I had a
I'd be
quick
able.
look, it doesn't
Basically,
look like
there's
much else.
nowhere else to really fly to that would be a point of interest, right?
Okay,
there's other planets and asteroids and stuff around. Any one of them could be a meeting point if you wanted to be. And I'm not going to fuss too much over what specific point of interest you're flying towards. I basically just want to know if it looks like you're flying towards something or in despondent distress towards nothing.
Probably not towards nothing. I guess we could fly towards one of the other planets to make it look like, I don't know, we're
Yeah, good thought.
using that as a method of either arranging or anyways.
Planetary bodies and moons are frequent meeting points for ships because they're so big and easy to see. So that's
makes a nice landmark. Hey, well, I mean, I guess
it does.
At the very least, I guess it's easy to coordinate without having to give a long series of numbers.
Yeah.
All right, so the Roz is going to undock from the Nox, fly towards a random gas giant orbiting the sun, which is named Kuritsihirti. And when you've reached a region of space where there are no other ships, you're going to unload the Dark Horizon. Dark Horizon will make its way towards Thurid. And that's what I've got so far.
Okay. Yeah, so Dark Horizon heads towards Thurid. We'll save you land. So we have either Beth, or if Das doesn't trust Beth, then Das along to handle the sensor stealth side of things.
I guess y'all need Virgilia too if you want to try the whole possession angle.
That's true. That's a lot of people.
I put you at five.
That's why I was asking about Beth. It wasn't like we need to bring Das because stealth. It was like how badly do we do if we trust Beth to do it rather than Das? Yeah.
I think you can probably leave Virgilia off. Like, the possession thing is an idea, but I don't think it's quite. I don't think it's quite reliable enough to try on someone we expect to have a very good mental resistance.
That's fair. Okay. So we fly in, either Beth or if relevant Das running the sensor defenses and the stealth stuff. We land within eye line of, well, we'd figure out where on the planet they are, don't we? Can we figure that out? We can try and figure that out during the sort of initial flight before we deploy the Dark Horizon.
We get in contact with some on the internet when we all get there of people that play GeoGuessr on Thurid.
You sure could.
That's a possibility too.
I will remind you that you're still currently docked to the Nox. There are people here that could possibly help also.
Like, wait.
That's a thought. As a thought, we need to do it subtly.
I guess there is another option, because Dex, can someone ride on the exterior of the ship?
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Because I have Virgilia has the Audrema vac skin, which lasts forever so long as I have sunlight.
Right. I thought you said right. I was like, what are you graffiti in the ship with? Okay.
No, I did say ride.
You did. I heard right.
Right.
It's going to be a rude message towards Celica.
Okay, could someone ride on the exterior of the ship?
If they had the long lasting vac skin.
It seems dangerous, but
My concern
I
is
mean,
orbital
people
entry.
board that way, don't they?
They
Yeah.
do. My concern
When
is
they're not,
but those are
when they're
also
not in
super
motion,
soldiers.
yes.
Yeah.
And when they're not in motion, yes.
my bigger concern is yes, of course, evasive maneuvers. The inertial dampers aren't going to get you out on the exterior of the ship. And atmospheric entry. Both of those are navigable, but they are dangers. They are challenges that you'll face.
I honestly don't think it's really worthwhile. It was a very dumb idea. I was just spitballing.
I will say it's plausible, and the skill checks wouldn't be too terribly high because you guys have a lot of skilled people and a lot of tools at your disposal, including the shield one, which could mitigate the worst of atmospheric entry impact.
I don't think it's worthwhile unless we're really desperate for a significantly large strike force.
Okay.
That might be relevant when we get to Tiamat, but I don't think it's worthwhile here.
Okay, but anyways, so the ship arrives, we land the ship within, once we have figured out where the place that we're going to is, we land the ship basically within eyesight of that, and then I'm going to say teleport closer, because that's less obvious than landing the ship within sniping distance. We scout around, figure out what's up, find at least a spot, snipe the teleporter, and psychic static is a line of sight thing, right? So yeah, so we... Oh no, it doesn't matter because we can just teleport past it if need be. And by if need be, I mean yes, because we're going to need to go pick them up. We'll negotiate that somehow. If necessary, we'll use, oh no, you're in some kind of danger. Look, she just got shot as evidence, and explain it later. I'd say, careful, the nice lady's been shot, we need to get you out of here. And then pull her out of the way. Yeah, so nice lady wasn't nice, that's why we shot her. Jokes aside though, yeah, get them out once the Raza is like nearby. Myokin teleports, I'm going to say several of us back, enough of us that whoever's left can fit into the Dark Horizon without suffocating, and Dark Horizon flies back. A little bit rambly, but yeah.
Okay. Let me type something out here real quick. Sorry, that was probably a teaser. I was typing something for myself, not for you.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Do you want me to sort of type up a brief summary?
If you don't mind, yeah,
summary.
that'd certainly help.
Sure. Okay. I'm completely drawing a blank. What's the name of the planet again? Oh god.
Thurid.
Third, that's it, yeah. I knew it started with T and had 6 letters, but that doesn't necessarily tell me what it is.
We haven't had music this entire time. That's unfortunate. I'll give you the cutie to hear to the anti music for now. You're still on a Nox after all.
Hello?
Hello.
Did I miss something? I'm sorry.
The beginnings of a plan to go rescue Delilah and Lohan.
Quote unquote plan.
Okay.
Plan.
Quote unquote plan. Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, and I see we've got Kana on the Dark Horizon and Shadow on the Raza. Viral is currently typing that out. Meowkin, for purposes of mods and construction, it's been 2 more days. It is now the 11th. Okay.
It's a very simple plan. Ignore the fact that it's 7 bullet points long. A very simple plan.
I'm gonna go over it point by point. Raza flies in the direction of something vaguely in the direction of Thurid. Intent is to get into an uninhabited region of space, undetected region of space. Once we shake detector lock, Dark Horizon flies directly for Thurid. Land within eyesight of the house and then teleport closer. At least find the sniper spot, snipes teleporter. Meanwhile, our teleporter brings Percy in, and Percy is in the Dark Horizon box. Okay.
Yeah, that's equal parts for in case Percy needs to do further violence, or just so that so that teleporter lady cannot hide behind anything, break line of sight, and then teleport out because she needs to be in Myokin's line of sight to get psychic static.
Mm-hmm.
So that's making sure Myokin is close enough to do that if necessary.
Alright, and you're going to explain to them, to Delilah and Lohan, what the situation is. Raza...
Oh, not Lohan, he's like 5, but yes.
Well, right, to Delilah. Raza swerves hard in the direction of Thurid, roundabout when we're setting up the snipe. And you intend for it to arrive in Thurid orbit before Mercure do. Well... I'll point out that Thurid is Mercure's. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, before they have raised like ship level opposition.
Okay, gotcha. And then teleport several people back to the Raza. The remainders, or just Beth, fly back on Dark Horizon.
I don't know if Myokin is capable of teleporting everyone back up to the Raza at once. Probably.
She
Probably.
is. Yeah.
Okay, but Beth flies Dark Horizon back in.
Okay. She can get, I believe it's 3 people per teleport level.
So like 12 people. Yeah, that's plenty.
Teleportation. Burdened. Yes. Up to 3, and they're... So, one question I have here is, you know from some of the selfies and from some of the research that I believe Das did, that Delilah is on the farm with her family, her parents specifically. Is there any accommodation for them?
But
we will figure that one out when we get there. And by we'll figure that out when we get there, I mean we don't know. No. Like, hear me out, right? Hear me out. So
I'm listed.
We don't know what story Mercure has sold them. We do not know in what capacity the teleporter lady seems to be there. And we don't know whether there has been any implication. Like, we don't know whether there's been any implication that there's a threat to Delilah, but we also don't know whether there's been any implication that there's a threat to Delilah's family. So it's possible that, yeah, that will make it look like we kidnapped her, won't it?
You are already a terrorist, so...
True, but, like, up until now, she's not had any flack on her because she was a part of my past from before I became a terrorist. Unless you count regular space pirates as terrorists, which maybe, but like, she wasn't.
That's fair.
I suppose regardless of what happens, she's going to be a target because Mercure has found out that's a button they can press to get a reaction from me. But yeah, it's... Do we need to bring her family as well? That is a question.
I am happy with you leaving that as a question to decide in the moment. I think that sounds fantastic.
Fuck. I was hoping that someone else was having a thought right now.
Yeah.
Rather than teleport the family away, we could just teleport the teleport assassin person onto our ship where they're out of range of anything else. I feel like that problem solves itself.
That is an interesting point. I do like that, actually. I do kind of like that, actually. Only concern that I can think of is that at the time that we arrive there, the Raza will not be there, but I suppose nothing's stopping us from hiding out and just, like, we strike, basically, once the Raza's just about arrived. Yeah, and then, what? Fucking... Wait, how would that work, actually? Would we...
Which part?
Because, like, if we teleport her onto the Vaza, then the Vaza is close enough to the planet that she could theoretically teleport back down. We don't know how good of a teleporter she is.
Oh, I see. I missed that part. You're planning to take the teleporter along with you.
Nox is suggesting that we could, instead of assassinating a teleporter, we could teleport her back to the Vaza as a prisoner.
Gotcha. I did miss that because I was reading Sensor Mask to make sure I knew what it did.
We don't know how good of a teleporter.
Planetary.
We don't know that she's not. Like, this is Mercure Corp. They probably... I wouldn't be surprised if getting a planetary level teleporter was within their capabilities. So it becomes a question of, if they can do that, then does getting one involved with kidnapping Das rank high enough on Silica's list of priorities? Which, probably. So my question is, how long can Ryokan maintain psychic static on someone for? Like, is it just a psychic equivalent of you sitting next to them going, counterspell, 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 counterspell? How long can you keep doing that for?
It is effectively limited by Kana's effort.
I was worried you were going to say that. That's not very much.
They've got a decent amount of effort.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but I mean, like, on the scale of how fast can we get her away from the planet, it's not very much.
Well, it's also... I mean, she uses effort also, so all Kana needs is more effort than the teleporter. Or a willingness to torch.
I prefer not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a Metascion. I can torch for a temporary amount of HP damage instead of permanent stat damage.
Mm-hmm.
In character, I don't want to force you to do that. Out of character, that's a very useful resource. Thank you for bringing it up.
I do effectively have something like 11 or 12 effort, which is a lot.
Okay.
You can do a lot with 11 or 12 effort.
Yes.
Yeah, you can probably. I know it's kind of an ignoble use of it to fucking use psychic static 12 times, but I doubt she has that much effort. And if nothing else, she's Mercure. We can probably talk her into it being in her best interests to sit still and not expend her energy for a minute. Just listen to us. Yeah, and then...
Like if teleporting assassin wants to counter torch until she's a pile of green slime, let her. That also solves the problem.
That much true. But yeah, what I'm wondering then is, what I'm wondering then is, what if we set up like basically a relay of teleports? How likely do you think it is that you'll be able to force her to teleport against her will twice in a row?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Sure. How likely do you think it is that you could force her, the teleporting assassin, to teleport against her will, like be teleported, offensive apport, whatever, twice in a row? Hmm?
You're breaking up a little bit there, Nox.
Yeah.
If I'm becoming a robot, I'll just...
Because what I'm thinking, right? What I'm thinking is something to the effect of: we leave the Dark Horizon in orbit. Neil can teleport his teleporter lady to the Dark Horizon, then immediately leapfrogs to the Vaza. And then that takes her essentially, even if she is a planetary level teleporter, takes her out of planetary teleportation range.
It couldn't. If she's an orbital teleporter, then wherever Kana can teleport to, she can teleport back to the planet. They would basically be at the same skill level. And I will say, you already know that she has to have teleportation 4 because she used offensive apportation.
No, you're not quite following. Let me explain.
I'm not.
Let's see. Okay, so pretend the inside of the galley box is so it's definitely a thing. Let's say the green line is the surface of the planet, right?
Okay.
Okay. Blue dot is the Dark Horizon. Blue circle is the Vaza. Pretend the gap between each of those is like however many 100 kilometers. Okay. If Myokin can teleport the Psychic Assassin to the Dark Horizon and then up to the Vaza from the Dark Horizon, Vaza is far enough from the ground that the only place she could teleport to is Dark Horizon, so we just need to move it down and she's essentially trapped on the Vaza.
Okay.
If we can space it out correctly.
Yes. If you could get the teleport to happen and then immediately move the Dark Horizon before she could teleport back down to it.
Yeah, basically, if you can psychic static her for long enough to get the Dark Horizon out of the way, which is why I was asking, like, how fast can Myokin conceivably get someone to be offensively apported twice in a row?
Wouldn't work because she'd be able to teleport back, backwards.
So that's what Viral was trying to work around by having it be a 2-stage teleport, both at effectively maximum range, and then move the
action,
first,
and then that's
move the middle piece. The difficulty that you'll face is that Kana can teleport from the surface to the Raza, regardless of where the Raza is, because of a special trick that she has. She can't do the same for the Dark Horizon, so the Dark Horizon would effectively have to have not moved at all in relation to the planet from the time that Kana was last on it. That's something you can accomplish, but it creates a difficulty for you.
okay.
Does it, hold on, does it have to be like geosynchronous or like?
Yes, it has to be something like that. Yeah, I'm not going to get into specifics, but it makes it so that if the Dark Horizon moves in relation to the planet, and I will determine that with a skill check, then Kana can't teleport back to it.
Okay, maybe we're bringing Shadow.
Alternatively, we can make a spike drill with the Dark Horizon.
That'd work. Yeah, you can just drill out with the Horizon. Yeah, just drill out and then you can't go back to
has
it.
a system drive.
Dark Horizon is a system drive. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the other options we had a spike drive, but it wasn't the Dark Horizon.
Also, I think I remember that when you spike drill on a different ship, doesn't it change what ship you can, or did we say that it adds?
I asked specifically, and you said that it was just any one that I did it with.
Okay, so that it adds. I couldn't remember what we decided on. Okay, that's fine then.
I think a big decider in that was, like, I asked after I was already a level 4 teleporter.
Okay.
Thanks. You said something about Kana being able to teleport back to the Raza specifically because she has something going on.
Yeah, they've got a unique gift for it.
Yeah. Is that relevant? This is just 2 normal teleports I'd be asking you to make.
So the difference is the teleporter, if she was on the Raza, let's just say that you get her onto the Raza, and the Raza is not maintaining that perfect geosynchronous or geospatial, whatever orbit. She can teleport from the Raza to the planet, but she cannot teleport back up to the Raza because the Raza has moved compared to the planet. Kana, however, can.
I still don't follow.
Basically, teleporters can only teleport to the spatial location that they've been on.
Okay.
When a ship is in orbit, it's usually moving in relation to the planet, right? So
Yeah,
it's not in the
so it
same
needs to
spatial
take-
location as it was
Okay.
10 seconds ago.
She
Okay.
can also teleport to like one of those like specific items she has, can't she?
Only
She
if they're
could.
in range. Which at
Yeah,
this point the
just
Raza would be
like
out of
Amidala.
range. Yeah, so the Raza would be out of range, is what I'm saying.
Got it.
I'm going to throw in here that could be the solution to your 2-jump problem if the spatial synchrony mandala is on the Dark Horizon and then the Raza is just outside at the edge of the range.
Yeah.
I don't quite follow.
It's the same thing as what you were
Alright.
suggesting. It just gives Kana an anchor for the Dark Horizon that you didn't have.
Did she? If,
No death in the Dark
Yeah.
Horizon.
if Beth or Shadow was able to keep the Dark Horizon geosynchronous, would she need one?
No.
Okay.
It basically removes the skill check for keeping the Dark Horizon in place.
Hmm.
It
That
also
is
allows you
nice.
to move the Dark Horizon. So
Okay, that's nice. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, and then you had something for going back to the Raza? Question mark.
That's just a default thing.
Kind of just do that. I think.
I can always teleport back to the Raza.
yes.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, so then it essentially looks like hop down to planet. Would it be offensive apportation or burdened apportation? Burdened, right? Just with
Offensive apportation. I think the thing that we're actually being stopped by here is offensive apportation, limiting the game over clause in offensive apportation.
See, I was thinking more like burdened apportation. Can you?
Burden apportation has to be willing.
Yeah.
To be. I
Okay,
think it
yeah, it's
actually
only
has to be
willing.
both in this situation. I believe.
Okay, it's only willing. Okay.
Because burden
I
is you
mean-
want to take someone with you, but I seem to remember there's something about
Yeah.
offensive where, yeah. So offensive would only be the target. You can choose to then
Yeah.
burdened to bring yourself along.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I will say that if you're doing committing the effort for offensive apportation and committing the effort for burdened apportation, in addition to whatever effort you normally spend to teleport in the first place, then you could get the target you're abducting and however many family members or crew members you want with burdened, as long as they're willing. As many willing people as you want with burdened.
Right, but I think it's unlikely that we're going to be able to talk to the family and convince them to willingly come along before the teleporter figures out that we're there. So we would essentially need to offensive apport them as well, which, no.
I see where you're going with that. Yeah, that would be more problematic.
Yeah. Nox mentioned something about the game over clause on offensive apportation. I assume relating to the you cannot teleport someone into a situation that is like eminently bad for them. Like you can't teleport them out into space. Could we teleport someone with offensive apportation onto a ship? I'm going to assume yes, because our plans for her aren't necessarily more dangerous than what she had planned for Das, who she was able to do the same thing to.
She was teleporting or trying to teleport Das into an ostensibly safe location on the station. She didn't teleport Das directly onto a Mercure ship. She teleported Das into a pleasant lobby maintained by the Nox and actually on the Nox.
And full of Mercury people, yeah.
And full of Mercure people who were not aiming guns or really creating a risk of immediate peril. It's very subjective.
I I suppose. Go, I suppose the
let me
question.
think
Go on,
through
sorry.
this real
Sorry,
quick.
sorry.
It's very subjective. And I think if you
I
take
think
care to be as unoffensive as you can in your offensive apportation, then I might just give her a bonus to the save.
Okay.
But it's going to come down to if she believes that she's in danger, being teleported into danger, then her not psychic static, her metadimensional static thing that all humans have is going to do everything it can to abort that teleportation.
But that's just didn't.
I think that getting her onto the Raza is a very slim maybe. I don't think getting her on the Dark Horizon could ever be a safe thing, considering the Dark Horizon is like a two-person ship.
Yeah,
so unless
I didn't think about
yeah,
that.
unless
You're right
yeah,
there.
fair. A shame it was a neat idea.
This is a somewhat odd idea. Could you deploy the drop pod in geosynchronous orbit?
Did you guys ever get a drop pod installed?
We don't have a drop pod, do we?
With the cargo lighter.
Cargo lighter, gotcha.
Yeah.
No, because it can't stay in orbit. Is that what you mean?
Oh, well, why wouldn't
you're
it be
basically
able
saying
to...
release it and don't have it thrust down towards the planet.
Right. And just use it as like a staging point.
That is a really interesting question. And I'm just gonna say that yeah, with a sufficiently skilled pilot check, because drop pods are not designed for that, it is going to be more difficult.
Right, but I figure it's not. It's ultimately not too different from just like releasing a satellite into a certain orbit. Because
no,
that's basically what you're.
It's not
It's
too
basically what
different.
you're
It's just I think those satellites have better positioning thrusters, and
Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna put that at a difficulty 12. It's not out of reach for you guys, but it is difficult.
Okay. So that is an option then if you want to do that.
Honestly, at this point, I'm wondering whether all the commotion and the hullabaloo, etc., is worth getting to talk to her. Like, it is infinitely easier to just snipe her before she knows we're there.
We have gone over quite a lot of plans, so I'm going to ask you to let's bring this in.
I think trying to capture the teleporter is maybe reaching a little too far.
Yeah.
The goal here is just.
Go ahead, Lulu.
Sorry. The goal here is just to rescue your ex.
Yeah, I'm focusing.
Yeah.
One second. But yeah, this is very much a secondary objective.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we go for the initial plan, which basically, as we're setting up to snipe, Raza swerves in, and then we just, go through with the snipe.
No, you can easily get in closer. She can't teleport away.
Can't teleport
do
what?
that.
You can't teleport what, sorry?
Like,
Nox, we couldn't make
the only
out
wrinkle I can add.
some of that. Could you repeat it?
Is that if she notices any of us, or if she goes on alert, Milken can just kind of like port in, because then taking static assassin girl from porting out or burdening out or offensiving out.
That was basically the plan, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, after the sniper shot, you bring me in, stop her from getting away, basically, while I commit further violence.
Okay.
Okay.
Although I have just had quite a dark thought.
Uh-oh.
If it does get to that, if it does get to the point where Lisa's snipe doesn't immediately work, Percy's reputation in their eyes is going to be immensely tarnished. And so I'm like, should we send someone that's not Percy as the backup fucking assassin? Probably not. I trust Elisa's skills, and I also I don't think it's likely that I need to shoot the teleporter right in front of Delilah and Lohan, but it bears mentioning nonetheless. Yeah.
We are nearing our break time, so let's put something down as our plan. Is everybody on board with the original bit that Val wrote up a few minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago?
Some time ago.
Yeah, some time ago.
The bit that I wrote up time ago.
Time ago.
Time ago.
All right.
Maga?
I'm not hearing any objection. You can fit 2 more people in the Dark Horizon, with Beth flying it, or well, actually with Kana's in there, so with Kana flying it.
Yeah.
The Dark Horizon does have emissions dampers, so I forgot to take that into account. It is going to take more than the 16 hours I said, but it does give you a +2 to your stealth. Does anybody else want to go with the Dark Horizon?
I'm going to leave it up to Ginja whether they think that Beth's stealth flying will be good enough.
I may have got slightly distracted and done the maths.
Okay. Okay, you
What?
want
Ginja did
this thing?
math? No.
Yeah, it depends
this?
exactly how Shadow's thing works, but somewhere in the 7 to 9% range that it actually makes a difference.
Shadow's thing is reroll ones on stealth.
I know, but it depends whether it's reroll. If you roll
Infinitely
one,
or
you
once.
reroll it and keep, or
it's
reroll
infinite.
reroll it and keep
Okay.
rerolling.
Yeah,
Keep rerolling,
I
so.
treat things like that and Diplomat as infinite. You can't roll a 1.
Infinite. Okay, can't roll a 1. Yeah, then it is about 7.5% that it makes a difference. And
What for you to come?
to give you some context on it making a difference in about 7.5% of the time, Beth fails it about 7.75% of the time.
And Das doesn't fail it ever.
Das fails that check. If I've got all the numbers right, Das fails that check about 1/8% of the time.
And you're comparing that against an opposed roll from Planet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's Das losing the roll about 1/8% of the time, versus Beth losing it a bit less than 8% of the time.
Is Death in the Dark Horizon?
This is
That's
what
what
we're
I was
talking about. Maybe.
I think this is an argument for Das not being in the Dark Horizon.
Okay.
You know,
Maybe.
I think maybe we'll look at it the wrong way, which is like it's only a 7% advantage, but that isn't an advantage to you being in the Dark Horizon. What is the advantage to you not being in the Dark Horizon?
Not being near the Mercure people.
What? But they've been so friendly to you.
Like this whole thing is because we don't want to give Das to Mercure.
That's a point.
The disadvantage of putting Das in the thing that's going
but
to
it's
where
important.
Mercure people are is that Das goes to where Mercure people are.
Okay, fair point.
I mean, I'm a GM and I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, sure you don't.
You're also the GM who, when I did a pre-mortem, you went, "Oh, good, you're giving me ideas." Okay, Genja, you're shouting. Is that on this or not?
We need the same decision from for Virgilia from you, Lulu. Is Virgilia going the surface or staying on the Raza?
I mean, it sounded like you had basically a full crew of people, so
There's only 3 people on the Dark Horizon right now.
okay.
Yeah.
4 if you count Beth, but then if you count Beth, you've got room for 6.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think unless your plan really is going to depend on her being able to possess something, I don't know how much of an advantage her being there would be. So you might be better served having someone else, I guess.
The teleporter could turn into a monster.
That's true.
Hmm.
Or will almost certainly turn into a monster, actually.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
If Das is going down, then if Das is going down and Shadow is driving the ship, Myokin doesn't need to take up a space.
So Viral had wanted Shadow to stay on the Raza.
Yeah, it occurred to me that
Okay.
Shadow being there isn't a huge... Like, Shadow probably has more advantage on the Vaza in case we run into trouble than she does on the Dark Horizon.
Hmm.
That means Myokin's driving? I guess
Right.
Myokin's driving then.
It does
Sounds like,
mean
If
that
you're having Shadow on the Raza and we don't get that reroll 1, it makes a huge difference whether it's Beth or Das doing stealth then.
yeah, I was gonna
Okay,
say it does change Genja's math.
It
Right,
does change. I did all of the math, so I have the numbers. It makes that then is about 15-16% the difference.
Okay. In that case, I will ask you. Another advantage of you being here then is that we have Shadow on the Vaza instead of Notario if something goes wrong.
Yep. Fair.
Thoughts?
I think Das would not leave the Dark Horizon at all, but I'm okay with that.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like
That's fine.
Das would be coming down to do stealth on the Dark Horizon and would not leave the ship.
Okay.
That's fine.
I'm gonna move
And
this.
if it looks like people are coming into the Dark Horizon, we leave.
Yeah, no, fine. Yeah, no, you hit the panic button and we teleport back to you.
Yeah.
We just give Beth instructions to keep Das safe.
Yes. Yes.
And alive. Alive is part of safe.
Alive is indeed part of safe.
Well,
I'm thinking Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have to keep her
Yeah.
totally jazzed about the General 5 or something?
also remember that she named one of your corpuscles Bob and treated him as he was alive. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Beth is still
This
a
is
normal
true.
one.
Still, that does mean that she can tell the difference.
does it?
Does it?
Well, yeah, because she realized that he wasn't alive to put a name on it, so she gave him a name. And also, she was talking about being full of dead people. So yeah, she knows the difference.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I believe him. I believe in Beth.
Before we go on break, there is one more spot. Do you want to fill it?
Okay.
This is also an in for if things don't go to plan. Do you want to be involved in the shenanigans?
I guess y'all could use some explosives, right? I don't mind going. I just didn't want to take a spot for him.
This is actually quite a delicate operation. Explosives is probably the opposite of what we need.
That's kind of why I wasn't really like jumping on it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the offer, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't bring too much else to the encounter.
If anything,
We don't fill up the space with a person, we fill it up with enough explosives that it takes up the last space.
All right. So that seat remains open to Virgilia.
You know what I'm actually wondering? What I'm wondering is, our faces, including Myokin's at this point probably, are known to Mercure Corp. You know who they don't know that we have? Julia Cross, who is an accomplished infiltrator, who I'm sure could manage something along the lines of get herself invited into the living room holding your spatial synchronicity mandala.
Do I smell an
That is
entirely
not-
new plan?
Oh God, you're right. No. The current plan works. The current plan works.
I don't mind an entirely new plan. I just want
I
you all
think
to come up with
we need to
something.
rethink the whole thing from the beginning.
We've been
All
at this
right.
for 2 hours. The current plan is fine.
I guess that means we're all resetting from the
We've been at
beginning.
this
He
for-
said.
We've been at this for No, what I am literally saying is the current plan is fine.
Yeah.
I think that Julia Cross infiltration is an interesting angle, and I will not I will not hinder you from exploring that option if you guys all want. Let's go ahead and take our 15-minute break, and you guys can talk it over the break to see if you want to kind of reset and rethink, or if you want to go forward with the current plan. Okay.
Okay, see you in 15 minutes.
All right. Goodness, I think I did let you go on a little bit there. But this is an important operation.
That's all right. Yeah, but we did say we were just gonna we were thinking act fast rather than smart. Well, we didn't say it that way, but you know.
Yeah. No, I'll apologize for letting you go on in the review. For now.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
fine.
and it's kind of a weird space too, because it's like realistically, it's like acting fast is still on the going to be on the order of hours. So it's like realistically, our characters still have plenty of time, have all this time to talk about this, right?
That's very true. Yeah.
So it's perhaps not something that needs to be simulated as being in a hurry.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ah.
Hey, as long as you guys are having fun with it and aren't getting it's cross-eyed from the planning phase, I'm fine with it.
What if we just bombard the planet from orbit?
You might run into Thurid's orbital or planetary defense systems.
That's
Not a
true.
guarantee.
That's a problem.
They might not care depending on where you bombard.
They probably still care, but you know, there's different degrees of caring.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see if this zero sugar yogurt tastes as bad as the last one. Pretty sure I've had this flavor, so I mean, sorry, I know I've had this flavor, and I'm pretty sure I didn't find it intolerable.
I've been eating some of that lately too, and it all tastes like even the most tolerable flavor. You get you get the thought that's like it's yogurt, but something slightly wrong with it.
Yes. The one that got my attention is Chobani, of course, but it's a zero sugar milk and cookies yogurt, and I'm like, oh, milk and cookies, that sounds delicious. Oh, it's zero sugar.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's like drinking diet soda. Like, oh.
Right. Like it's soda, but it's slightly wrong.
Yeah. Credit to people who can drink that and enjoy it, but I'm very much on the sugar train and cannot.
Yeah. They had some like zero added sugar yogurt at sale at Costco lately, so I bought some because like I wanted to eat more yogurt for like lunch and stuff, just because like pseudo diet, just something something to tide me over until proper dinner. I did not realize it was zero sugar when I bought it.
Oh.
I thought it was normal. I thought it was perfectly normal yogurt. It's not, and it tastes. I would not get this again.
It tastes
we'll
hollow.
leave it at that. Yeah.
Like there's the inkling of flavor in it, but it's not really there.
Yeah.
Have you considered manually adding sugar?
Oh, you know what? I remember doing that as a kid in some way, mixing diet soda and regular soda is somehow worse than straight diet soda.
Yeah. Well, because in principle, diet soda does have sweetener in it already. What you're doing is making something that it still has the taste of diet soda, but it's also got sweetener on top of sweetener.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just wrong.
So the one that
Pardon me, walked into the spot. How about gay sweetener?
What's gay sweetener?
Dex said adding straight sweetener. How about gay sweetener instead?
That makes sense.
It's Pride Month.
Yeah.
Yep. Welcome to the joke.
Yeah.
All right, so review the toasted coconut vanilla zero sugar is not bad because coconut already has that kind of off flavor. So if you like coconut flavor in things, or if you're familiar with coconut sugar, it tastes about the same. It's not something that I would eat over a regular full sugar yogurt, but I have it and I'm eating it. The cookies and cream was disappointing on all levels. And I do not know whether my yogurt that I'm currently eating is gay or straight. I didn't ask.
Well, it's got zero. If the choice is between straight sugar and gay sugar, and you're doing zero sugar, I'd say it's probably Ace.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably true of most sweeteners. Wait, no, is it classified based on his preferences or the people that prefer it?
Oh no.
I think we're talking about whether the sugar itself is the sexual preferences of the sugar itself.
Oh yeah, they're probably Ace.
Yeah.
What's sugar? It's good that we're getting to these important questions.
Of course.
All right, but here's the real question. How do you like classify it if it's like if the sugar is like is gay but it's biromantic? You gotta really clarify for those ones.
Do you though?
Yeah, obviously.
Depends on your usage of the word gay. If you're using gay as a general term for queer, then because it's biromantic, it is gay by default.
Right, but if you're talking specifically same gender, if you're talking specifically of solely same gender.
Well, yeah. Here's the root of the problem, isn't it?
All right, I guess I gotta ask what gender my sugar is.
How are we gonna gender sugar?
We could ask Spanish.
Well, hold on.
Or French. I think they gender.
Now hold on, because then we're getting into the chemical traits of it. Because cis and trans are chemical terms.
Okay.
Adam and Eve, not Adam and Stevia.
Oh no.
Okay, that's cold.
I may have to keep this break in the session.
That is perfect. That is this whole conversation was going there.
Where else could it end? goodness.
Bringing us back
You
into
want
frame.
that?
All right, so I
Oh, I'm
see
so funny.
notes here from Percy, from Viral, saying the current plan is fine.
Yeah. Although, upon further thought, because that was me from like 20 minutes ago, upon further thought.
Oh no.
Well, that note was not to yourself.
Go ahead.
Do you not? But yeah, just the thing is that we don't know that fucking teleporting assassin lady is necessarily going to be outdoors, within line of sight, etc. She may just need, like, you know, nudged into coming out or being brought to the door, or she may not even be here at all, in which case this will all be very easy. But having Julia there as a backup option in case we do need to go in and talk cannot hurt. So we bring Julia. We probably don't need to use her. If we do, we improvise.
Okay. All right, I'll put Julia over there. I see I've got a full board of 5. I'm going to ask, let's see, Lulu and Meowkin, you've been left out. So, which of you wants to run Julia, and which of you wants to run Elise?
I kind of want to release so I can shoot the sniper rifle.
Okay.
Who's fine? Who's doing it again?
It's just a mercenary that
Okay,
we hired.
that's fine.
Bodyguard, I guess.
Head of
Yeah,
security,
I can.
by infiltrator lady.
All right. What's my motivation, Dex?
Good question, actually. I've been curious myself about Julia.
Okay, so hang on. This will only take half an hour or so.
Okay.
It's not like we can't waste half an hour.
Yep.
Honestly, go for it.
You're very good at it.
If anything, take your time. Once they get going, one more half an hour.
So, Julia was the former head of security on a high-profile diplomatic starship handling delicate and dangerous situations. Julia is driven by challenge and thrives in high-risk environments where her expertise is truly tested. She's calm and decisive, analytical, no-nonsense leader, and values professionalism and integrity.
Okay.
Yeah.
She has sort of taken over as our head of security since we got her. It was previously Libra, who seems quite happy to not be responsible for everything.
Yes. Yeah. Libra, who fears becoming basically mind controlled at any point, is very happy to not be in charge of things. That is a that's a fear that she has, is that she will be taken over, and the people under her will suffer for it. All right, so we're putting the plan into motion. Raza flies in the direction of something vaguely in the direction of Thurid. That's not a problem. I may have given you a little bit of a misleading or inaccurate information. I think I did give you the implication that the Raza would have to break the detection lock in order for the Dark Horizon to not be detected.
Mm-hmm.
Once you're in a region of space where there's no ships or other detectors detecting you, that's not true. The Raza doesn't have to shake the detection lock. The Dark Horizon can deploy, and it does not automatically have a detection lock.
Yeah, that was the impression we got.
Okay, good.
We specifically were thinking we maybe don't want to break the detection lock with the Raza because that might make us look like we're trying to hide, which we are, but we don't want them to think that.
Okay, so, fantastic. So you're not actually going to shake the detection lock once you get into that region of space. And let's see. Are you flying full speed in the Raza?
Probably not. That looks like we're at. Well, no.
Well, let me make
Maybe,
it a little bit clearer for you. The Raza, under Kana's piloting, actually under any piloting, because you're, unless you trim the course, would get into a different region of space in 4 hours. 8 hours. I don't know how math failed me right there. We get into a different region of space in 8 hours. A ship with a drive 2 would get into a different region of space in 24 hours. You've previously been flying around with a drive 3, which would be 16 hours. How fast do you want to get into that different region of space?
Do we have any reason to believe that Mercure would know that we've fixed the drive?
I guess the signature will have changed, right?
Yeah, signature changed. They don't know that means that we're at drive 6. Let's say somewhere around, like, let's say, wait, do we know what our limits would be roughly for different drive levels?
Yeah, drive 2 would be 24 hours, drive 3 would be 16 hours, drive 1 would be 48 hours, but those aren't too common.
Okay,
Most common is 2.
Shall we then head for our destination at what would be like close to maximum speed for drive 4? They know we're upgraded, they know that's why there's a change, they don't know how upgraded we are.
Okay.
Drive 4 would be reasonable for someone trimming the course at drive 3, correct?
It would. Mm-hmm.
You're right, drive 5, they can assume I'm trimming the course for drive 4. Fast enough to go, wait, what are they doing? That's interesting.
And I don't want to throw I don't want to throw
the
sugar
old-
on your plan here because sugar is a very controversial topic. But anything that is clearly a drive of 4 or higher is known to be pre-tech.
I'd say I'd incline towards sticking towards 4.
Okay.
Like
So-
the trimming the course at 3 speeds. Because that's still highly upgraded, and they wouldn't know we're trimming the course anyway. So
Fair. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And like going for the distraction thing, but yeah, fair.
Here's my question: is how well known is it that the Raza had a equivalent drive 6 before?
They saw as Newman around.
Yeah, before you lost your memories, it's very likely that the ship was clocked.
Yeah. So I guess we could. Yeah, I guess we could still feign that we're not quite the original speed, but my concern is just that people knew how fast the Raza could go before.
Sure, but they don't know that we're back at that speed yet. If they've been looking, then they know what speed we have been shown to be capable of currently.
Unless they can put 2 and 2 together with the signature showing after the repairs.
At which point they go, they got upgraded, they're now going to drive 4 speeds, and their signature is showing, I guess they'll drive 4. And then we bust out to drive 6, and we're like, oh.
Alright. Drive 4 gets you there in 12 hours. That is 12 hours for Percy to sober up, or if he keeps drinking, for him to have an encounter with Siri.
I'm going to work on sobering up.
Pick your poison.
Sober.
How effective is his effort at working on sobering up? Like, does he need a nudge? Would Koana be concerned?
You tell me. Probably.
I need to know a little bit more about how he's doing before I can know how Koana is concerned. How concerned Koana is.
Stop drinking or continue drinking, but switch to water. Try and force down some food. Try and sleep. Probably don't sleep very well because worry and lots of alcohol. Yeah.
So pretty normal method.
All right. Let's go ahead and roll something for Koana. See how well she recognizes this.
See how well she recognizes poor coping mechanisms.
Yeah. Trying to decide if this would fit within her. Yeah, I think I'll give her the bonus for this. Hopefully the question mark doesn't ruin things. Yeah, okay. Oh wow. All right. Yeah. I think Koana is not concerned.
Hmm.
I think she recognizes that Percy is dealing with things, and he is he's getting approving looks from Koana as he brings himself out of the drinking phase through his methods.
Realistically, go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say, and not just approving looks, but she's actually smiling and encouraging at him when she sees him. Now, what were you gonna say?
Realistically, judging by the amount of calories that food on Mona has, and it's the magic nourish you, I imagine that Koana's experience of being drunk is that the drunkenness goes back down and the clarity returns. They probably don't have hangovers on Mona. We're going to need to explain to her what a hangover is.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know exactly how all that works.
She's going to go all bright chirp and slam the lights on, and Percy's like, "Ugh." It's like, what? What's wrong? Do you know what a hangover is? What?
The food they have there is very efficient and nutritious, so it's probably not all that high alcohol content either. So, yeah. It's almost like it was engineered food or designed.
Imagine.
All right. Well, you make it to your interim region of space and can cram the 5 of you into the Dark Horizon. It's tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight. Are you going to have her trim the course?
Yes, I don't see much, if any, reason not to.
Okay.
No further comment.
So moving from one region to another region is again 48 hours divided by the drive level. The emissions dampers, if you use them, double whatever time you take. So it's only difficulty 9 for Kana. I don't believe she might be able to fail that, but it would be very, very difficult for her to fail that. That will get you there in 32 hours. This is going to stress your life support, while the life support could theoretically supply 2 people for a whole 2 months. It's not designed for such heavy instant load. It's not like it just divides 2 months by the number of people you have. It's stressing the actual mechanical and the functional parts, not mechanical, but the functional parts. So there's a couple of solutions available to you. Either you can do some preemptive work on it to kind of overcharge it. That would be something that Doug could work on while you were traveling to the region of space in the first place. Certainly wouldn't take him more than 12 hours. Or you can take extra, or you can take extra oxygen tanks with you and sit even more cramped in vaccines.
I'm happy the less room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how long does it? Okay.
Assuming Kana makes the check, you're looking at a 32-hour trip.
Oh no, what I was gonna ask was how long does it take for a bubble seal mod on armor to recharge?
Oh, Bubble Seal only lasts for an hour, I believe, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't say anything about how long it takes to recharge.
I
I
think
think the point is,
I think you could hook up an oxygen tank to it and just like keep it charged. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't have that port. You wouldn't take that into combat with you because it's a huge liability.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're just sitting there and using the bubble seal on the armor, then it's fine. It will need maintenance because it's also not designed to function for 32 hours straight. You're putting great stress on it.
That's fair.
But I am now picturing someone carrying an oxygen tank into battle.
Are they old and using the cane also?
I'm more just imagining the oxygen tank getting shot.
Yes. Yeah, it's fine on vac suits because they're, there's a place for them. They're protected more or less, and safeguards to make sure that they don't explosively rupture. So yeah, the bubble seal is a viable option. It's just gonna put a lot of strain on it, and we'll simply call that out as extra work for Doug when you get back.
That's okay.
Doug's fine with that.
Good.
And Doug could probably make some quick adjustments to it to try and reinforce some of the more stressed components beforehand, if you want.
Rumbling is like this is supposed to be an emergency backup.
I'm going.
You just wear.
I'm going to assume
Can't
that
just
this
wear
will
a
be Doug's.
backsuit like the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that this will be Doug's idea actually, because it's sure as shit ain't Percy's idea. He's too busy focusing on, hangover.
Oh, that's fine. He can still grumble about it though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Then I'm gonna ask you to make sure that you're whoever's going, that you've got inventory space for the oxygen tanks. They can be stowed. Oxygen tanks are either 1 or 3 encumbrance each. I can't remember which.
1.
1. Okay, that's right. Yes, oxygen tanks.
I don't remember why, but I have 2 in my inventory.
Perfect. So for this, you'll want 5 oxygen tanks in your stowed inventory. You can ditch those. Sorry, you'll need space for 5. You can ditch those on a Dark Horizon when you leave it. You don't have to actually carry them with you on the surface of the planet.
Okay.
Is the Dark Horizon not safe to be on?
Not for this many people for this long.
Yeah, it's just that you'll be stressing. It's either this or you make adjustments to the life support on the Dark Horizon, because this many people, this fast, this stretch of time is going to stress its life support system.
Okay. I mean,
you broke up after. All right. Don't think we heard any response. If you want to type it out, Nox.
type it out.
I thought you had something else to say after I answered. It sounded like you were saying "I mean," and I didn't hear anything after that.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. I misheard then.
It sounded like there was more there, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's also very cut out.
All right. So just make sure you've got space for 5 encumbrance worth of oxygen, and no modifications need to be made to the Dark Horizon.
Does this also mean that we need vac suits?
You do need vac suits, yes.
Okay.
You can, of course, bring any armor you want and change into it when you arrive on the planet.
Any armor we want, you say?
Well, any armor that you want, then that you have, yes.
Ooh, almost got you there. The technicality.
My lack of strength has become relevant.
Oh dear. Yeah, I have space for more oxygen tanks. I'll get some for you.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be all in one.
I'm only over by
shared.
1.
Okay, yeah, we're fine then. We're fine.
Yeah.
I don't see oxygen tanks in the list of things.
They're
No,
not.
it's just a 1 encumbrance thing. Yeah.
It's
They're-
a thing.
It's a thing Dex has made.
They're one of the off the beaten path mentions in a different item. They're only mentioned under vac suit.
Yeah. But yeah, the vac suit's encumbrance 2. 5 tanks is 5. That's 7. I can have 3 readied plus 7 stowed. So I can have a total of 10, and 7 of that is keeping me alive.
Note to self: have strength on character. Wait, no, we roll stats.
I'm
Wait,
very
do we need to have 10 of them?
No, just 5 each.
5 each.
Okay.
I'm very
But
happy
I
to have
only
actually.
have 10 encumbrance available total.
I'm very happy I've actually
got-
created a situation where the encumbrance and the strength matters.
Yeah. By making us carry basically our own weight in oxygen. Yeah. Does Stars have rules for how many encumbrance carrying another human is? Is that a thing?
It does not actually.
Right. Okay.
So you can just carry a person that's carrying their full load.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
It's like a bag of holding, really.
Yeah.
We just stow another character.
All right. There does need to be a once that's sorted, there does need to be a program in program skill check by somebody on board the Dark Horizon once you are entering the Thurid region of space. And it will be opposed.
I wonder who might make that check.
I wonder
boy.
who might make that check.
Oh boy! If only we had brought a specialist for this exact circumstance.
Yeah.
I'm rolling at a -1.
Oh, you only have a -1? Hang on, let me take over. I have fucking. Okay, no, it's -1 as well. Carry on. Oh no, it's a 0 actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chance it works on a -1.
There's
It's
a
not a very
chance.
high chance. It's not a very high chance, but there is a chance.
Alright, hear me out. We can roll. We can get the person who has modifier to roll it.
No, I would not like the X card.
Right. In program, not hacking, right? Unless I can hack their sensors, in which case I will absolutely hack their sensors.
This is not hacking, no. I'm going to roll a. This is not their detection check. This is something else.
Oh dear.
Okay.
That doesn't fill me with confidence.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
And
right,
then
I'm
I'm
going
going
to
to
roll this
privately
unmodified, and we
roll.
can work out what actually applies. But I think it's a plus. It's either a +3 or a +5, depending on whether we get the emissions dampers.
You got the. Oh, right. We do actually have to. I forgot that part. Thank you for reminding me. Who is? Oh, it's Kana. Right. Kana is piloted. Nox, go ahead and make a pilot check. Difficulty 9. I think that succeeds.
I think it might.
All right.
Nice dice though. 1616.
16169. Wow.
As you are making your approach, Das notices that there's a little bit more sensor activity than you would expect from a planetary center. They are not using passive sensors.
Ah,
Why? What?
Okay.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like my plans wobbling like they're about to crash down around my ears.
I think we just go for it.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
already there. You're entering Thurid's orbit now, or about
Yeah.
to. Let's see that program
Yeah.
roll from Das.
Okay. Am I putting modifiers into the roll, or am I just rolling without them and then we'll add?
Go ahead and add the +3 for being a fighter as a target ship.
Yeah.
You are avoiding planetary population centers. Oh shit, we didn't actually go through how you figure out where to go. All right, we'll get to that in a minute. But you got a clue.
Oh, we do.
It is avoiding planetary population centers, so you get that +2.
Okay.
They are not. They are not right outside of a city. They're not even really close to a city.
No. And then no emission dampers. Is that right?
Oh yes, right. Sorry, and +2 for emission dampers. You did use those.
Okay.
That's why it's taken 32 hours.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And since I've basically already given you guys that you have the location, let's flash back real quick to how you got it. Somewhere on a Nox. What did you want to do? Did you want to play the GeoGuessr game, or are you trying to find somebody who knows somebody? Are you trying to just hack something? How do you think you got this information?
I really like the GeoGuessr game angle, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It honestly is fairly safe.
Really, really nice.
Sorry, what was that, Nox?
I said we asked Celica really, really nicely.
Yeah, so where is she actually?
Yeah, okay. Somebody roll me a, this would definitely be a Charisma Connect check, I think.
Wait, are we seriously? Are we actually doing that? We're not actually doing that, are we?
I don't think people
Why
are
not?
serious.
Oh, really?
I will.
Oh, okay.
I will.
No.
I absolutely will.
right,
I mean, it's fine if that's fine if the rest of the party doesn't want to do that.
All right, if you want to do it, you go ahead and make the check.
See ya.
What's the check?
Charisma Connect.
Oh, okay. No, I'm okay with that.
Oh,
I have
God.
I have a skill point in Connect.
Please
Make
no.
it a 0.
Please no. No.
All right.
Look, Doug may not get results, but Doug's trying.
See, normally that's okay, except when you're actively giving away what we're trying to do by failing.
Well, no. Obviously, I'll just fail. They'll see that I failed. They'll just be laughing at me. That's the way I choose to interpret it.
It's a little bit more effort than one would expect for a GeoGuessr game.
It's not too popular on the Nox.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe the Nox spacers are. Maybe it's a pastime of theirs, guessing random planets and locations on planets because they don't have one of their own.
Maybe.
So, I think we just develop some culture for the Nox.
They have space for culture?
Wow.
That's all they've
Can you
got
fit that
space
in?
for.
They don't have space for much other than culture. Yeah.
So, yeah. I already said that you get it. So this isn't that it can't fail. The roll can't fail. It's just the roll is just to see how smoothly or how frustrated it becomes for Doug. And how would you interpret that, Meowkin?
I feel like it's more like he gets sidetracked.
Okay.
But yeah,
he's doing this with people who are working on ships, so of course he's gonna get sidetracked, right?
yeah.
They work on ships for a living, and that they work on a large variety of ships, and that's got to be all interesting. You know, maybe they even rope him into a much more relevant game to them, the Ship Guesser.
Like just like
Oh,
yeah, like
God.
based on like trails and yeah.
Based on the design of the ship. All right, what ship is this? What part of the ship is it in?
Yeah, they'll just get a picture of like a small section of hallway, maybe a meter of hallway with some panels on it.
Okay, yeah. All right, so that specific pipe was only ever used in.
Right, exactly. Yes.
When you put it that way, it's easier.
Honestly, I like this game. I like this idea.
No, not you too. No,
Great.
not you too. No.
All right, so you've got a location from GeoGuessr after a few rounds of ShipGuessr, and I think I'll throw in on the low roll that maybe Doug found himself a little bit less knowledgeable than he expected in comparison to these shipbuilders, and they were surprisingly quicker at it than he was.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair enough because I don't think he's actually been in the ship business as long as a lot of people. He's just, he's good at it, but he didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
Which actually, I'm thinking about it, these people literally did grow up with building ships, didn't they?
They do, yeah.
It's an unfair advantage.
One which they gladly will laud over him.
That's okay. Doug's good-natured. He's not a sore loser.
And they do appreciate that. All right, we are back to the present, and what's that, Viral?
I was just saying, I like to imagine that at some point in the GeoGuessr, you just slip in that one of those selfies, and they're like, "That's not a ship. Oh, but there's a ship in the distance. Okay, so they only make that on this specific place. All right."
This specific farm.
You know what? That's actually...
Yes, they grow ships.
That's a really good idea. In one of the pictures was an old ship it's clearly been derelict for a while. It probably was used to transport large amounts of cargo there, and then just got broke down and abandoned like an old tractor, and that's how they guessed the location.
Yeah, that sounds good.
At the very least, narrow it down significantly.
Yeah.
That's how those GeoGuessr things do. It's like, they identify something that like narrows it down to like one of like 5 cities or nonsense like that.
Yeah, if this ship was transported to this farm, the farm is probably using this. It's probably outside this city, and the ship gives you a landmark to look for as you're approaching. And Das is making the program check. See how I looped it back around?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Program check with a +7, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see how this goes.
Okay.
20.
And,
yeah, I'd like to see them beat that.
Okay, not 20. Wait, no.
Yeah. I mean, I think, are they rolling with like an effective +6 or something? Roundabout there?
Well, the only modifier you know for certain is that they've got the +5 from being a planet.
Yes.
And they'll have at least
and they've probably got like another
yes.
1 or 2. Yeah. But even if we assume they've got a +2 on top of that, that's +7 on a maximum roll of 12 is 19, and we still win.
Yep. They did roll fairly high. There was a chance you could have lost this, but because you're an expert, and I'm not telling you that the skill check failed, you can assume that you have made it under the radar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do love the idea that they rolled. Go on, sorry.
We can assume that we hit the 3/4. We didn't hit the 0.75% chance that they win.
I do love the idea that they roll a 19 and they're like, okay, yeah, we're so fucking good at this. There's no way anybody gets past this.
Yeah, and then Das rolls like below. That's below average as well. I'm going to point out.
Yeah, and they're like
below average.
they're all like, high-fiving and fist bumping and fucking cracking open cans of beer and stuff like, yeah, fuck
Like,
it.
oh, we are on
Best roll
top
I've
of
ever
our
seen.
game.
Yeah, and then that's like, wow, okay, I'm having kind of an awkward day. I only got a 20.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Average on the dice of a 3 dice roll is 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 13.
Yep.
21.5.
You know, we really do not give that enough appreciation for how insanely good she is at what she does.
Yeah.
Like, she's outrageously skilled.
But can she scan a planet?
The true test.
I'm sorry, can she what a planet?
Scan a planet. Sorry, that's
Probably.
Oh god.
historically our hackers have done very poorly at scanning.
Not again.
Yeah.
That, you know, for no reason, like, you know, that, you know, best at hacking ever, and scanning a planet can't do it.
Yeah, that failed.
You know what? You know what that sounds like? You know what that sounds like?
A skill
You know
issue.
what that sounds like, don't you? It sounds like a challenge.
Yep.
All right. Well, based on the GeoGuessr's best guesses, there were a number of cities that this could have been, and the most likely. Wow, I don't have a city name. The most likely is the one that you approach first. I did not come up with a city name. Hang on real quick. I can do this.
City Big Cityville.
Untitled one.
You're right. All right. Wow, ChatGPT just gave me like some of the most recognizable names, but anglicized, because that's how I asked for the names to be. All right. We're gonna go with Orvo because I like that. Sounds very Dragon Agey.
Orvo.
Orvo. Orvaux. Orvo was the most likely city because, well, that was just where the guesses landed. And on your approach, Das is also keeping an eye on the sensors, and you know, probably Kana is also keeping an eye on the ground. It's probably Kana that's noticing this. You do see what looks like in the very distance a bit of farmland with a couple of familiar looking buildings. At least they are a familiar arrangement. You've never seen a picture from above. And the telltales, a ship parked off the farm, and a bit of foresty expanse around the farm in the distance. It is not a feed other people farm. This is a family farm, and that's what you expected from the pictures as well. This is just people living off the grid. On their own, on what is well known as a pleasure planet, if you partake of the delights of the city.
Now, how off the grid are we talking?
We're talking a couple hours outside the city. A couple hours drive.
I meant like literally like off the grid, like they don't even have internet or anything, or well, yeah, whatever.
It's likely that they still have satellite reception.
Okay, so it's still technologically linked to the grid, if you will.
Yeah, it's available to them.
There's different degrees of off the grid. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
You don't really know how off the grid they are, but you know that the services are available by satellite if they actually want them.
Right.
They would certainly be on generators though, or their own power supply of some sort.
Oh, okay. That's still Probably pretty impressive.
And let's see, where are we? We're at 2 o'clock. All right. We are land within eyesight of the house and then teleport closer. So you've got a couple options for landing. Obviously, you could park right next to the ship and say, "Ooh la la, look at us! We have a so much nicer ship." You could park outside the forest. That would obviously not be difficult at all. Your senses are easily capable of detecting if you're trying to land on a frozen lake or if you're on snow that's packing the hard earth underneath. You can also look for an opening in the canopy, either one that leaves your ship clearly visible but has no risk of brushing up against hard branches, or you can try and scan for something that's that has canopy covering but no hard branches, so that you could try and maneuver through. So the first question is, how out in the open do you want to be? That kind of defines the rest. You know that you're currently under the radar, and so if you don't expect anybody to be flying over and saying, "Hey, that ship's not usually there," then there's no risk at all. But how paranoid are you being?
When you put it that way, we're not going in that, obviously. I imagine that the confrontation will likely be over before anybody flies over. Likely, unless you have a particularly unserendipitous circumstances planned.
Oh, he would never.
But yeah, I know I would never. But yeah, I'm not falling for that one. I am not petting the rattlesnake with the pet me sign. we land a bit further out.
Okay, I'm just gonna let that one go. I have no idea what that means.
But it says pet me.
Oh, pet the rattlesnake. Got it. I misheard that.
Yeah.
I heard put the rattlesnake with the pygmy, and I didn't know what that meant.
No, I'm not petting the rattlesnake with the pet me sign.
Okay, I hear that. Sorry, my lack of sleep may be contributing to how many times I have to ask you to repeat yourself, because I don't usually feel it's this bad.
In fairness, my Scottishness is probably also contributing to that.
It's not a common saying.
Yeah, your Scottishness is definitely, it's always contributed to it, but I don't usually have to ask.
Is that a common Scottish expression?
Oh, good question.
I'm not gonna pet the rattlesnake with a pet me sign.
Not especially. Not especially.
That was a viral
I just wanted to check. It might be. If you want, I can check. I have a Scottish coworker. I can ask them.
Yeah. Go ahead. They'll probably acknowledge that, yeah, it's the kind of shit a British person would say, but they will also acknowledge it's not a common thing, but it's the kind of thing a British person would say.
Alright, so how exposed do you want the Dark Horizon to be?
So what's the train like nearby again? There's that other ship that we used as this bottom point parked nearby. We're not landing on a lake, which makes it out of a lake.
So the terrain is snowy. You'll need the ship's sensors to tell you where the snow is covering a thin sheet of ice over a lake, or where the snow is covering hard ground beneath. You can also, of course, use your survive when you're out there to know the difference. There's a farm, and because Thurid is mostly snowy, there are crops that are currently growing in the snow. They're seasonal winter crops. There's forest nearby, and when I say nearby, I would call it maybe a 10-minute drive from the farm. At a moderate pace over the snow because it is still snow. Or a half hour to an hour walk. It would probably be 2 jumps, 2 teleports for Kana to get there using visual only if she doesn't have another marker. Like if she just was on the ground and went from the forest line to the farm with no previous visual sighting, it would take her 2 jumps.
Okay, let's go on then. Okay. Let's then set up shop there and
No, I'll take that back. I'll say it's just 1 jump because sorry. It's just 1 teleport for Kana.
Okay, no, if it was 2 jumps in, that was quite a convenient middle point for us. But okay, let's.
Whether it's 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. I can make the 3 jumps in less than 30 seconds.
Right, and you don't pay anything for it, so yeah. Okay.
Okay. Let's then set up shop 2, actually 1 jumps away, and I think get 1 jump closer and let Elise start setting up.
Okay, so you want to be pretty far out.
Yeah, is that too far away from Elise for Elise to snipe from?
She's got a scope and sniper rifle, and it's quite a nice sniper rifle, so I'll say no, but the weather and the light snowfall is going to make it more difficult for her.
Okay.
But she's also a fairly good sniper, so that slightly more difficult is like telling Das this is going to be slightly more difficult for you.
We'll go a little over halfway then, just a bit less distance. I assume that there's no like terrain configurations that are leaping out at any of us as, oh hey, that'd be a perfect nest.
No, not really. You basically, if you want her hidden for sniping, you need her in the forest line. There's not really much else. There's some rises that you could possibly use, but then she's exposed to any aerial view.
Okay. I have a thought, but I don't want to create for Elise because I'm not the one currently controlling Elise.
Well, say it, and Doug can yay or nay it.
I was gonna say
Go on.
I was gonna say probably like precogging like, hey, what happens if I use this sniper nest? Or use this sniper nest.
Yeah, it works.
I don't. I guess I don't know exactly how Elise wants to use that, but that's how I want to use it. If I'm going to use it.
All right, hang on real quick. I'm creating a gridless grid for you.
Yeah, and I think I was going to say, Elise is an expert, but Elise is basically an expert with precog, so.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Okay, so we're still in the Dark Horizon coming down, and you're looking over, you're surveying over the landscape available to you. You can make out enough detail for Elise to sight in on some potential good sniper points, some low rises with a little bit of brush, tundra brush. That would be good, or of course the forest. And it sounds like you're interested in one of the low rises, and wanting to precog, basically have her ask the question of, I'm going to position here and snipe the teleporter, and I want a vision of that future, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. All right, well, you got to this point a lot earlier than I expected, so this might be a short session, but...
We might be waiting a bit for them to step outside. If you need to buy more
That's okay.
time.
It's okay if we're waiting for them to step outside. That's why we had Julia to poke them. I'm okay with calling her.
The most relevant single minute that Elise sees in her vision is frantic radio chatter from the Raza of a squadron of Galactic Mandate Steelhawks flying to intercept, while there's also lost the word. While there's also grav flyers quickly closing in on your position, and a pair of ATVs emerging from the forest. That's the minute that Elise sees.
That's a hell of a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, emerging from the. Hold on. I guess is the ATVs? Is that also Galactic Mandate? Or is that Mercury Core?
She's able to see that they look like they're the Thurid SWAT.
Fuck. Okay.
So yes, you did walk just right into things. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's a good spot to stop on if you want. Huh.
Yeah.
Yep. It's always fun having a precog to warn you of these things.
Yeah, but now what do we do?
And that's only. Hold on. How far in the future is that?
Well, she can see up to 3. Oh no, I think she's got a horizon out into a year, so it could be 8 months away. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I like giving the timestamp with these.
We waited a long time for them to step out of that house.
This is based on Elisa's estimation of the environment, her preparations, and basically, what she thinks has occurred. She doesn't have an exact timestamp, but she believes it is occurring within a half hour of you landing. I'm going to give you a big window here. Between a minute and 30 minutes after you've landed and made contact.
Okay.
Shit.
So, should the roster just be running away right now?
Well, the part of the plan was that the Raza was trailing Dark Horizon far enough back that it's in orbit at the time that you need to teleport back up to it. So that's not very far, and this would probably also be around the time that the Raza is approaching orbit.
Okay.
So, do you want to have any last-minute discussion before we call it a session?
Any last words?
Shit, fuck, oh shit, fuck, no.
How many?
Except, but then Elise goes back, he's like, oh, I guess we don't need to panic yet. We have a little bit of time.
You do have
But
a
also
little bit of
panic.
What does that mean?
Well, what do we do at that time?
To be clear, you're also currently, at the time that she's having this vision, you haven't actually landed and made that contact yet. You're still picking where you want to put the Dark Horizon down. So,
right, so like what I guess the question is, do we just call it off and start running now, or do we try to action hero go through the plan? Don't forget we do still have the emergency drill activation on the Raza.
Mm-hmm.
Even if we even if our I think the main problem is our infra drive is, I guess in a pinch, we could give it the old in-system test and see how well it works inside of the system.
You could.
But we can't teleport. We can't use it to go to any other systems right now. But again, we have the emergency drill activation as well. So. And speaking of, actually, how long does that take to activate? Is it pretty much instantaneous, or do we have to get like survive a round or two of combat?
It's one round. It's 15 minutes.
Okay.
And because it is an emergency drill activation, I wouldn't say that you have to make any special preparations or be particularly vulnerable during that one round. It's designed to just get you out of wherever you are, whereas a normal drill would be like you have to orient right, and it takes a half hour to do all that, and stuff. Yeah, the emergency drill is safe for increase in difficulty.
And of course, Kana's going to be on the planet. So, but I guess the question we can get, presumably, we'd be able to still manage to, unless things go south really fast, still be able to get into range to pick Kana back up. Which is obviously our best bet for the drill, but I guess in an emergency where we're splitting the party, because that's a scenario I can envision. At least we do still have Shadow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
I said Steelhawk. I meant Sparrowhawks.
Yeah, that makes no difference to me. I don't know the difference.
Yeah.
Are Sparrowhawks like a fighter plane or what?
They are strike fighters, and I'll try to think if there's any reason that you would know more details. Doug, I'll give a roll because you just played Ship Guesser.
Aha!
So
it was
coming
useful.
up, Douglas. It's all coming up, Douglas.
roll me an hidden fix.
Well, I guess obviously Elise has to describe them.
Elise doesn't have a description. This is the Raza declaring a squadron of 6 ships. The Raza does identify them as fighters and as flying galactic mandate. Call sign or whatever it's called. And Sparrowhawk isn't unknown. It is a strike fighter style, but Doug has a little bit more information about what Galactic Mandate has outfitted the Sparrowhawk with. That's not knowledge that they broadcast, but it's also not knowledge that they can particularly hide. Sparrowhawks are Galactic Mandate's fighters intended for fast reaction. They get there fast, and they are dangerous. They have a polyspectral mes beam, not just multifocal. That is the one that does 2d4 damage and has armor piercing 25. It's also tech level 5.
Yeah.
They are system drive only, but they're system drive 3. And they are quite fast and quite nimble. They also have atmospheric configuration.
Okay.
So they are the early contact force for hostile ship activity as larger and slower ships arrive behind them.
I guess the question is this just Galactic Mandate responding to the Raza, or is this Mercury Core trap?
Funny enough, in all
I think that's
Elise's vision, there were no Mercure assets.
Yeah, sure.
Anything.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're at the farm is that kind of reeks of Mercury Core, doesn't it?
And you do know that Mercure. Sorry, go ahead, Viral.
There's no way that Mercury didn't arrange this.
You do know that Mercure has almost complete control over this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Including the Galactic Mandate forces.
That's not so certain. Galactic Mandate makes a good showing of maintaining independence. How much?
Yeah, we all know they're bought out by the corpse. Come on.
They make a good showing.
That is all I will say about that.
That says everything.
All right, so what does this vision do to the crew, or do you want to address that next time? Do you want to have a week to think about how that affects things?
My initial thought is, I think we should just rush it. But I guess because I don't fancy mostly because I don't fancy splitting the party.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
And basically my idea is, pushing forward anyways is already because is us approaching is getting the Raza in range to get the party back together.
There is something I think I can do to help here.
Go on.
I'm going to go ahead and flip over my my quick play spell card or whatever.
No magic in this game.
Oh, except wrong, because I'm a space wizard.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
It's also not relevant here because I'm using eclectic memory.
That is space wizardry. You know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jai's version was space wizardry.
Yes, it was.
This...
Go ahead and post it in chat again so I don't have to look it up.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, and you still haven't fixed it. Come on, Lulu.
I can't see it. I have dark. I have
Vision?
It's the extra return characters that I think he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a second to
Basically, that's just delete the return characters, which is annoying, but especially when they're right on a line wrap.
Yeah.
Give me a second. Well, this is your fault, Dex. You shouldn't have written it this way.
All right. So what are you doing with this?
Okay.
So we've got the Galactic Mandate incoming, correct? Is there anything I know about their, I guess,
protocols?
Protocols, practices, whatever, that would allow us to either redirect them or otherwise give us an advantage over them should they be coming after the Raza?
Yeah, so this is level 2 that you're using?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Virgilia, with her study of what little information came into Audrima and what she's picked up since leaving, would leave her with the actionable impression. Whether she believes it's true or not, it's still an actionable impression that the Galactic Mandate do actually try to remain impartial and independent. They it's not just a good showing of being independent. You can give Virgilia the conclusive impression, the conclusion that they actually are, except for individuals, of course, who can be corrupted. But overall, Galactic Mandate is independent and not particularly corrupt. And if you can present the incoming with sufficient evidence that there is a potential kidnapping or threat to life on Thurid, while they don't necessarily have jurisdiction on the planet itself, it is enough to give you the benefit of that single skill check you or an ally make during the same day, acting on this knowledge, rolled as if you had the relevant skill, level 2, and gives you the direction that you can go of basically stalling out their attack by presenting evidence that you are trying to prevent harm. That's the actionable part, is you can...
At the very least, legal roadblocks.
You'll very certainly create a situation where they have to call to their command for mission confirmation, or to that might jeopardize life of someone on the planet. That's what they would have to do. You present them with this, and they're going to have to call back for confirmation or make a decision on the spot, and take the consequences of it.
Okay. So I guess that is a factor then. If we can, I am still on the ship, so I'm probably best suited to stall them out. Face stuff.
I was gonna say we got a face character for a reason.
Or lay. That's why it sounds like Dragon Age. Sorry, it's been bothering me since I decided that the name was Orville. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I actually did have another question. Could we reasonably say we are an agent of Shinobu in this instance?
Probably. We do have the Red Dragon on board.
We do, and we were coordinating with the Nox in system under Shinobu's support, so...
You could claim it, but...
we might be pushing our luck with Shinobu.
Yeah.
You're definitely not taking actions in the interest of Shinobu right now.
Yes.
It would be a little bit of a lie, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I suppose so.
Now, if
doesn't mean we can't.
The other thing I was considering was claiming I was acting in the long-term interests of the Audrima, which would give them more pause, but I was worried that might annoy Audrima some.
Audrima probably would frown upon that.
I feel like Audrima just feels like detached and vaguely superior to the rest of humanity just because they've only been through it once.
I can also tell you that that's not as significant of an argument as person in danger right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I guess Audrima knows the whole time loop thing, so it's like, I mean, I guess it's how much you can't do that much harm this late into the game, right?
Well, they also hate Mercure Core.
Oh yeah, that's true, because their whole origins.
Yeah, I remember the information you got was that they pretty much just fire on sight at Mercure ships.
So acting in a way to intentionally attack Mercure Core might not be as dangerous as it could be if we were antagonizing some other power. So that is an option I could pull out of my hat if need be.
I think
See, to a certain extent, if you start with your less likely or less plausible or less drastic options and then work your way up, they'll think that you're just trying to play with them. You don't need to break out the big guns by like the second or third approach.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up the session. A little bit early, not too much, about 15 minutes early. Put the end card up. And my main review question is, come on, didn't you expect this?